burns before it burns us up. Your God has never answered my words, but it don't matter. I still got hope and that's all I can really ask for. I gotta shake the fear so I can keep on running forward. I wish I could forget the memories that can't take place, 'cause I have found a path to shed back with heaven hell. It only takes a spark for a fire to start. Won't hesitate, won't fan the flames, that is the way. We'll make our own future. I'm gonna reach that finish line, we better inches at a time. I'll keep going, nothing can stop me. Na 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 na. They say that we're not strong enough, but I ain't never giving up. And I'll leave this future behind me. Na 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 na. I'll keep going, nothing can stop me. Na 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 na.
Well, hello everyone, and we're back. It's been a while, has it not? We're testing out a new kind of, it's about probably the same show format, but a little mix it up here with a little bit of a name change and a little bit of flair. We're sort of working it out as we go, what we want to do with this new format, but it's, truth be told, and I think it's going to be just as good as previous iterations, but before we get into our topics for the night, I figure we bring our guests on. Usually we got Amy, who's back again.
Hello.
Raider, how you doing? Thank
I'm
you
good,
for
I'm
the was it you that came up with the title idea?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
I do like it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna have some fun on the show tonight because we also got Joey.
My chair is way high.
Yes,
like,
Quantiscope or
so
Quantico.
high?
This is a Final
This
Four
is the
stream.
Final Four stream. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Get your bets in. Do you have your bracket?
Well, I mean, it was all chalk this year, so I'm sure DraftKings lost a shit ton of money.
It was all what this year?
All chalk, 4-1 seeds to the Final Four. Basically, if you took the safest bet possible, you
I
made
mean,
a shit ton of
I have
money.
absolutely no idea what you're saying. I mean,
So
I
you're
feel like
saying
anytime
go short
anytime
DraftKings.
anybody talks about like the brackets or whatever, I'm like, I think you just like put Duke, right? Isn't that the rules?
Duke's in the Final Four. So
Yeah, always. Like I think no matter, you just like pick Duke. Like how I don't know how to fill out a bracket. I just know that the end result, it's got to be Duke. That's all I know.
You sound like my mom who picks based on what team names seem interesting to her.
Well, I mean, I think there's like I think it's science.
It's science. Speaking of
and
science,
also luck, heart luck.
Yeah.
And there.
Mm-hmm.
How
It's
you
just
doing?
Duke. Like you
Platinum?
just if whatever it is, it's got to end in Duke. I think is what I know about it.
Sounds good. Well, tonight
Sounds good.
we got some topics for you tonight. The first one is kind of a continuation from me and Joey had an impromptu live stream when the market started to melt down after hours on Wednesday evening when the tariff announcement came.
we were there when the Asian markets opened up, and it was like,
pretty
is this really
nasty.
going to be this bad? And we are like, yeah, no, it's this bad.
Was it when the Asian markets opened, or when China said, okay, we're gonna 34% from us?
Well, they didn't do
No,
that.
that was before. It was like, yeah,
Was that
no,
Friday?
they didn't do that. To the
It's
next
Yeah,
all-
that's
day.
why it
all
melted
blurred.
down Friday hardcore.
Yeah, it's all blurred. So I don't even know. Is it Vietnam? Is it China? Who the hell knows?
All I know is that we have something in common now, all of us. We're all baggies.
I'm not a baggie.
How dare you?
I'm okay.
Were you,
I don't think I am.
were you short like everything?
I wasn't short everything, no, but
Listen,
I did.
Bert is down. Oh, but you must be up on your position though, right?
Yeah, I got it at like 16.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't short the market. But I did have Tesla puts for the delivery numbers.
Oh.
So I did have that were
That's
not
why it worked out
not
nice.
doing great until Friday.
Until Friday, and then they were doing really great.
I did do verticals. I did spreads, so I wasn't quite as affected by the ridiculous volatility.
MCI did go down, but not as far as VU did. And I'm back, baby, Team TLT.
Well, I think
bonds rallied hard.
They did, yeah. I mean, what else would you expect, right? Like, because they're trying
They
to.
risk off
Well, I
completely.
think they were all anticipating that there would be some like emergency rate cut, so they're all trying to like front run it. But yeah,
Yeah, nice
Well,
try.
all
Yes,
my
sir.
other stuff is like boring, boomer, like Staples and like Smuckers and Procter and Gamble, like the most boring shit you've ever seen. And
hey, if it
those all
works.
did pretty well, yeah. Well,
Yeah, things that people
they
will
held
have
up
to
well.
buy.
Staples is like, I mean, it's usually like that's where, and that's like the hidey holes too, right? So like when things get crazy, like everybody runs for those types of stocks, so they're always good to hold in the long term. But
Yeah. I do miss Gabiko being on. Well, I don't because I'm not on X
oh,
anymore.
I
But I
miss
thought
him
the meme
too.
would be a great meme to start us off. Can't remember what's going on there in there. It's a trade war, Jerry.
Yeah,
But
I miss him too. I love Kubiko.
there's been like you mentioned it briefly. Um, Speaking of
Hi,
the
Sam.
Hey, everybody. You should
emergency
probably
rate
tell everyone
hikes.
to subscribe to your new channel.
Oh
Laura.
yeah. So
Smash that like button and subscribe. Sorry.
yeah. Basically, I got copyright struck by a douchebag, and so the new channel is YouTube at Sunny Corax, just like everything else. It was a trap. Yeah. I went back to the name that I've always used.
You can't keep
Congratulations.
getting away with this.
So, is this our Final Four stream? Well, I would have to get a Final Four back, but it's too late. So,
I mean, did you
it
just miss
can be our
that
Final
whole
Four stream.
you missed the whole thing about Final Four? Are you just joining
Yeah,
us?
that was the response. That's why my
Welcome to
lead
the
was,
show tonight.
this is a Final
Yeah,
Four
I'm
stream.
late to the chat as usual.
Noisy has been out of commission too long. He has no idea what's happening.
I
Noisy
win.
is dead. We've weakened at Bernie's him. Amy's actually in his house.
Yeah, I'm
no.
just artificially holding him up with like the string so he can wave.
Yeah, I went on an umbral quest and I've returned. So
Guys, real quick, I have an announcement because
Mhm.
we were all here when the tragedy struck, and I just want to say that we have a new one.
Oh
We have
boy.
a replacement.
Is that a
He's
golf
alive.
club? Oh my goodness. Excellent.
He's alive. No, remember on the live stream when I dropped it and it broke?
Broke, yes.
I
Yeah.
remember.
Well, I just wanted to say that he's back.
Yes.
We're back. In
He's
my little
back.
spot right here. He's
Now,
back.
when can we expect the real Doug and make
I mean,
everyone
Dougie
scream
he said
tears
he would
of
come on
rage?
here. Yeah, he said he would come on here.
I'm waiting.
I'll
You
make
get
it.
an express ticket.
I'll ask him. We haven't had the show in a long time.
That's fair. But like you said about those rate cuts, it seems like Trump is asking for the Fed to start cutting rates.
Not gonna happen.
Not happening. I don't think. No.
It's not how it works. You can't do that.
The one thing I would say about this is like, I don't think Trump realizes what he's asking. If you're basically suggesting that there should be rate cuts, like he was saying that, oh, well, inflation, isn't a problem anymore. And it's like, well, regardless, interest rates are a function of growth and inflation expectations. So what you're saying there is that the economy is going to go in the shitter. Therefore, Jerome, you should cut rates. So you're basically admitting that your policy is kind of fucking everybody, right? I mean, like that's the tacit admission, more or less. Please cut rates and save me from myself.
We were gonna get rate cuts.
Hold on just a second. No, I don't think we were.
No.
I mean, that seems to have been what Jerome has said, is like that, like rate cuts are not going to be a thing that's going to happen because, I mean, prices will go up because of the tariffs, but like that's not real. That's like changes in price. That's not real inflation. But I know that's
it's the rate of change. So like I think that matters. But like I also think that like I think it's so the way that this is working, right? Like he put it across. Sorry, I got distracted. like for example, China came back and said, okay, well then we're going to do 34%, you know, in response to that, right? But then Vietnam comes back and says, oh wait, we'll go to zero. So I mean, I think that like it's like just mathematically we don't know how, like this is just my opinion, but I don't think we know how this is going to play out. But like if Vietnam is saying zero, then the stuff that we're bringing in from Vietnam is either going to stay where it's at or go down depending on, you know, what it is. And then some things may go up. So I don't think it's like a blanket, like all prices are going to go up, or like it's going to be like some are going to stay the same, some may go up, it may balance itself out. Like I don't think we really know because I don't think we have enough information yet. Like
Right. It's only been like a few
only
days,
two
but
countries, yeah,
like,
only two countries have really responded in any real way. So I don't think there's really any way to know. But I don't think anyone would, at least not, I'm not saying that like that's it, the world is ending, the sky is falling,
yeah.
everything's going higher. Like I don't think that's the case.
Well, I think
I think it's like it's
But net
gonna,
net.
yeah, net, like you know, some things may be a wash, and then some may come to the table and be like, okay, we'll lower ours, and then he's gonna lower his. Like I don't think this is gonna be like a COVID type situation where we have this like crazy V-shaped recovery. I think it's gonna be this sort of drip, 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 drip of like who's going to come to the table, who's going to negotiate, what's happening now, and wait, what are they doing? And oh my gosh, now we have these people. Like it's going to be.
well, in the meantime, anyone that doesn't is just going to be bad. It's going to raise rates for goods.
Anyone who what doesn't lower,
Exactly.
doesn't want to play ball. Yeah,
Right.
well, I mean, I think that's, you know, I think that's the negotiation, right? Well, it's like, okay, well, your folks are going to pay more too. So how much are you willing to take, or how much are you willing to pass off to your consumers? And you know, because they're already charging us tariffs, right? So now it's gonna be on the flip side. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be an interesting. I don't know. We're gonna have like an all-out trade war. I mean, but either way, I think it's gonna be this sort of drip and sort of these stocks are gonna do well. These stocks are not. You know, like it depends on whatever's hitting that day and whoever's like coming to talk about this with the US. Like it's just going to be a mess. Like that's why I sidelined at the end of January, just to not really be involved in this. And I've taken like the Tesla, that's the first position I put on since like January 20 something. So I have no interest in being involved in this maniacal trade war. Yeah,
It's
I
so
know.
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's just
one
like
day it's one
just
thing, the next
ego,
day it's
right?
something else. It's
Yeah.
so annoying.
I feel like it's just
Someone
like a
on-
dick measuring contest. Hi,
Someone on
Jake.
oh hey,
Oh, saying
someone
hi to Jake.
on Bloomberg kind of summed it up really well. They're like, are you buying the dip or are you catching a falling knife?
I mean,
Well,
And
isn't
we
everybody
don't know.
catching a falling knife?
But we don't know where the bottom is, and we probably
Yeah.
won't until, I would say we won't even have an idea until the end of the day, Monday or Tuesday.
Well, I've seen, I mean, no offense to anyone, but I've seen like some of my key favorite baggies talking about how they're getting ready to short. Someone today said that they were going to short Apple, and I was like, well, the bottom's in for Apple.
I mean, if like,
Well, Apple's going to be fine.
I think.
Well, did you see the iPhones might be like over $3,000?
It's not
If
going
they
to happen.
if they make them here, they're not going to make them here though. I think
They're not
Amy's
gonna.
right. They're just not.
You don't
going.
just build a
Yeah.
factory like in less than 4 years. It's never going to happen.
Well, China, but they also moved out of China, what, like a year and a half, 2 years ago? They moved a lot of their stuff to India. So, I
And
mean,
Vietnam.
I think in Vietnam, right, who just dropped their tariffs to zero. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so you're going to see like something like, I think that like a lot of the initial boom is like to look at it like it's all the same across the board and be like, oh my God, iPhones are going to be $943,000, and you know the bananas are going to be $80. Like I think, but you just have to like let it play out.
I will say one thing, Joey. Wednesday, we were trying to figure out their formula for their tariffs because I will say one thing.
figured it out.
Like, truth be
It's the
told,
deficit.
truth be, yeah, it's the trade deficit thing.
It's the trade deficit, yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah, which like if they had just said that, I would have been like, okay, I get your formula, but the way it was presented at the hearing, in the Rose Garden, it was,
It's
oh, we're
currency
taking into account
manipulation.
their tariffs and trade manipulation. It's like, what bullshit fucking whatever. If you just said it was the trade deficit was the formula, I would have been like, okay, I still think that's dumb, but okay, at least like the dishonesty that was surrounding how they came to their numbers to decide.
Yeah, and I don't know why they
is-
thought for a second that like all these quants and all these like these people weren't going to figure it out. But I mean, I don't think
I mean,
they
the
carried
fact
the
that-
way. But
The fact that they put in 2 canceling figures to make it look more complicated than it actually is, that just tells me they probably pulled it off of ChatGPT. And I'm dead serious.
yikes!
I'm
I
dead
would be
serious.
surprised.
If you ask ChatGPT what is the best formula for or what would be the appropriate formula for tariffs, this is the formula it gives, with the 2 canceling the 2
Did you
canceling
confirm
figures.
this? Did you put it into
Yes.
ChatGPT? Amazing.
Yes.
I love you for that.
So someone in the Trump administration thought, I'm just going to plug it into ChatGPT. We'll give it to the president. It'll have a bunch of Greek letters, and
he won't
buy it.
know either way.
He won't know. And even if he does know, he won't care, because it'll just we're going to put it on a chart. He's going to hold the chart. He's going to look really stupid holding the chart instead of just bringing up someone else to hold the chart.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Chris Soika and his whiteboard being so far away, like nobody
Oh
could
my
see
goodness.
it, right? Like nobody could see
I'm
what you're
going to
holding
make a
up
new
there.
X account specifically because I can't download his little voice things from a guest account just to be able to download his videos to go over every now and then, because he
Well, I'm just talking about like his whiteboard is
is
so
the
fucking far away.
best,
and he
worst
hangs out over
AMC
there.
entertainment. He's
Yeah.
just so bad. Oh my goodness. One last thing, a few last things actually. I'm sorry. I did watch this one video by Money Macro, which is a macroeconomics channel. Funny that, but he was going over some of don't be confused by the title and make knee-jerk conclusions. Basically, he's going over some of the people who helped form Trump's policy and how what they're trying to aim for is a new like Bretton Woods. Like the main thesis is to tariff them into a new deal where, you know, America gets to still be the reserve currency, and while also getting a positive trade flow balance, which, I mean, that sounds like you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, to me, but
We will never,
their
just
plan.
based on standards of living, we will always have a trade deficit. What the fuck do we have that Vietnam wants, that there's a high demand for in Vietnam?
No, we don't make anything here. We're we're a nation of consumers, right? So I mean, don't make anything.
Even if we did, like, and China can make all their own shit. We have the privilege of accessing Chinese. I know that sounds like I'm like kissing Xi Jinping's ass, but we went through a lot of hurdles to get into the Chinese
Communist.
market. We went through so much shit for like four.
But I also think I'm like
decades.
I agree with that. The U.S. is far too dependent on foreign countries. Like I mean, I agree that like some of the stuff should be made in America. So like I agree with that. But I mean, we're far too dependent on, and I get what you're saying, Joey, but like I think it should, but it's not going to be an easy process. It's not going to be like tomorrow we're going to wake up and start, you know, manufacturing all of the chips for Nvidia in the US. It's not going to happen.
Intel's working on that. Please save my bags.
But
Yeah,
we're going to have to do what we
foundry,
do
right?
for
But I mean,
ethanol,
they've
what we
been-
do for corn. Well, that's
Right.
what it's going to take. We're going to have to
They've
subsidize
been talking
the
about
shit out
that
of it
foundry
and
for
filling it
so
with corn
long.
themselves.
Like, shit or get off the pot with that fucking Intel foundry. Like, just get it done.
Anyway, I would suggest listening to this video if you want to sort of understand the mechanics of what they're trying to do, whether you agree with it or not. I'm not going to play it all here because like it's a 23-minute video, but if you have free time, it's
So
good
long.
to watch.
Macro?
Yeah,
Ugh.
Money and Macro. one big other thing, there was some disinformation going around on two key news articles. First, Warren Buffett had to come out and deny social media rumors that apparently he was all about them tariffs.
He's all about them tears.
He's all about sitting on his fucking money and doing nothing with it right now.
He's all about waking up the next day. What are you talking about? Like the dude's like 90. How old?
He's just happy to get another breakfast.
I mean, right? Like,
the other big one that I saw was apparently there was an article that came out from the Financial Times about Trump selling DJT stock. But if you actually go to it's just a restatement of their S3. Like there was actually no sale. It was just a like this is a weird thing is like, and yes, they did do a press release specifically just to be snipey and call out the Financial Times for not being able to read Edgar, which I thought was.
I mean, the Financial Times has been a little bit hit or miss lately with their stuff. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Did they like overhaul and just like only leave the
ChatGPT.
interns in there? Like it's not been great. I think everyone's like so like rushed to get the story first that they just like, Jesus Christ.
Like this is this basic research that we do on our live stream. It's like, okay, before we make any high conclusions, let's go to Edgar. Let's go to Pacer. Let's see what it actually says before we decide to. And we're not exactly a professional outfit. We don't even get ad revenue anymore. So, speaking of that, I think it would be a great transition from one top subject to another.
Ryan and I are so sad. We were so ready to play.
Yeah,
it's made in Vietnam.
Switch 2 pre-orders have been temporarily halted until we
But
can
now
figure out
Vietnam's
what
like
it's going to cost.
I thought Vietnam was all good. Like
No,
can you make
Vietnam.
our
The
switches?
speculation is that Vietnam's all good. He hasn't changed anything.
Yeah, he said he had a very important phone call, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's what he said. And he's,
Glad
you
I
know,
want to play
said
the
that
new Mario Kart.
Yeah, we're dying to play the new Mario
I wanna
Kart.
play
It's
the
going to be
cow.
I mean,
like
I even like I have played the other
$700.
Mario Kart for far too long.
I love the other Mario Kart too.
I mean, I do too, and I got like the bundle of the extra worlds, and
Oh yeah, me too.
it's not doing it anymore.
It looks like we're going to be on our Switches for a bit longer. Do you guys also want to play Crystal Chronicles?
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. I bought it like for
I
Mario Kart.
shamelessly bought Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and no one will play it with me.
I'm like Mario Kart and Donkey Kong like all day.
I just remember it from the Game Boy, from the GameCube days.
Oh, and Mario Odyssey. Mario
so
Odyssey is
I had to get it for the Switch, and now I have no. It's a multiplayer game that I don't have anyone to play with. Anyway,
well, we can play. I didn't even know you played.
Yeah, there we go. I'll have to send we'll have to all four of us share our friends.
I think I have
friends
Amy's
tags
friend
on
code.
Switch.
I'm not sure about Platt's.
You have
Oh,
my
okay.
friend code? How did you get my friend code?
Because we were going to play one night, and you asked for everyone's friend codes.
I don't remember that.
Wait, not for mine though. Let's play Mario Kart one night.
I don't remember that
totally.
either. I was a stalker.
I just all I need to do at this point. Hey, my tax return's back. I can get a video card and we can stream it. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until
I suck at
October.
Mario Kart.
I like to have Christmas money, so I file the extension every year.
Anywho, so that isn't the only gaming related news we have. How about taking out loans to buy crypto? I'll let you handle this one, Platt.
They really did it.
Yeah.
They really did. And they actually already completed it. Not only that, but they got like an oversubscription. So they were only going to do 1.3 with the option for people to buy 200 million more. They got the 1.5. They've actually completed that, which I was kind of shocked about that. Like,
because there's no interest. The entire value is
it's
on
an
the
interest-free
convertibility.
loan. It'll convert into shares at like $29 basically. And it's until 2030.
Why is everything a bank now? Why can't you just sell the shit and that goes on the shelves? Not everything has to be a bank.
My big concern about this is, and right now it's only been this one, which is good, but this is feeling very MicroStrategies strategy, and by that I mean a lack of strategy and more of a Ponzi scheme in the making.
It's exactly like MicroStrategy. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Like, I'm pretty sure Sailor wrote the fucking offering for him.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying is
they're
like
exactly the same.
MicroStrategy did several of these. So far, it's one. Let's just hope this is like one of those.
Yeah,
like,
let's hope it doesn't end up being over 7 like MicroStrategy.
yeah,
Mhm.
like especially with like Bitcoin not doing so hot right now.
Yeah, I just
Actually, it's
sent
not
it
doing
to the
so bad
chat.
though. It's
I
kind of hanging out around 83,000, I thought, right? Wasn't it?
it's
Yeah.
down 1,600.
Okay, so it did recover. It
Yeah,
got
which
down
is
to 82 and then bounced back up.
It bounced back a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But it only bounced up 1% yesterday, which, granted, in terms of Bitcoin, that's a lot, but it still fell at a worse rate than the dollar did, and a worse rate than the market in general. You'd have been better off just playing any other regular ass stock on the market than you would have been with Bitcoin
when?
Yeah, but
Last week?
crypto did
last
pretty
week.
well. Crypto did pretty well when everything was selling off,
Well,
though.
I was
Yeah.
talking about Bitcoin
Well,
itself.
if you look
Bitcoin,
here, it
not
Yeah, it's
did
just kind of
when the China announcement came and it dipped like everything else. It's come back,
Oh, did it?
flattened out, but it did dive for the floor with everything else. That's why I'm not too sold on these people who are like, Bitcoin is digital gold. It's a risk-off asset. It's anti-inflation. It's like,
Oh, I definitely. Who said it's a risk-off asset?
liar.
I feel like that's an indicator of risk on when Bitcoin's going
Yes,
up.
100%. Because it rallied up to these insane heights, during the
well,
election.
thanks to MicroStrategy also, spending $40 billion on Bitcoin. Like, hello, obviously that helps.
Who?
MicroStrategy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Well,
the
yeah.
Ponzi scheme
That's
pumping
the.
but that wasn't the only good news for game. Well, we'll call that indifferent news for right now.
Yeah, I'm not.
We'll
Yeah,
come
well,
back to it
exactly.
later.
We'll call that neutral
But
news.
there was some good news for
Well, I think the
GameStop.
bad news is the delayed dilution, right? I mean, because it's coming.
Well, the
Yeah.
good news actually is the delayed dilution, because if they had diluted just to buy Bitcoin, I think people would have been pissed about that.
But they
Like the
can
fact,
convert as early as August of this year.
but it has to be over $30 basically, right, for them to even want to
29.85.
bother.
Yeah, because they like
Yeah,
yeah,
but
in
they're not
lieu
going to do
in
it
lieu
then.
of interest, it matures to face. But yeah,
So, if they had done that, then I feel like that would have been bad. But the delay, it's like whatever. And also, I feel like
And
Michael
no one's going
Saylor's
to
whole
convert unless it gets up to the price to make it worth converting. So
right.
it could be no dilution, or it could be dilution. You just don't know yet. It's like Schrodinger's dilution.
Well, I
Sure,
mean,
it is
technically it
dilution.
is dilution, right? And at this point, the max amount
It's
is like
absolutely
69 million
dilution.
shares.
Yeah.
So that's how much they could dilute as of right
And how
now.
many do they have outstanding right now?
Like 400 and something million. I forget what the amount is at
Okay.
this point.
I didn't realize it was up that high.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
on to the actual good news. There was a bit of a spike up 11 and 0.3% to close out the day was GameStop on news that Ryan Cohen, for the first time in what,
Since
2 years?
2023.
Yeah,
So
a
2
long
years. Had bought 10.8 million dollars worth of shares.
500,000 shares. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Ryan Cohen. Can you believe that his cost basis is still $2.61?
Jeez.
Even with the new buy?
Even after that. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mhm.
What did he acquire the
And
first 9 million at?
Like
the
nothing. It
floor.
was in 2020.
I mean, literally.
Um,
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, that definitely helped GameStop because I don't want to say it was like going down, but it was trading pretty much sideways, and
Mhm.
that juiced
What
it.
you
We'll
mean
see how long you're
since
back.
Roaring Kitty came back? I mean, like since it's been trading
Oh
sideways
yeah,
since
since the
then.
peak of that, it's been trading down, but
Right.
it hasn't really been doing much in the past. Like, let me back it up here on this chart.
Doug said, "Welcome back, Dream Shill team."
Well, yeah, it's been mostly, well, it's still up. Let me switch to this here. It is
I mean, I think it peaked out at like 80 when Kitty came back.
Right.
Yeah,
But
pre-market.
in the past couple months, so like go back to August, it's still kind of to the downside. It rode up with the rest of the stock market into the inauguration and then came back down. And it's been,
Yeah, but I mean, keep
pretty
zooming
much
out.
sideways.
It's still up like 2,000% or something like that. It's like it's truly the only meme stock that hasn't completely crashed.
Completely bottomed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like for instance,
Oh gosh, yeah.
well,
it definitely-
that reminds me.
Oof, yeah.
I had finally, it used to be exclusive to Walmart. And I don't live in Arkansas anymore. I don't have 40 bazillion Walmarts around me. I go to the local Kroger store. And so I finally saw the AMC popcorn in this. It's delicious.
Oh yeah,
by the
'cause
way.
they got
Look.
Kroger and Publix, right? Did you say it's delicious?
It's
Of course
delicious.
it is.
This is
Like,
the
how
first
do you fuck up
popcorn.
popcorn?
that, like,
Okay,
this-
wait. Are you
this is
talking about the
first-
bag or the one you put in the microwave?
Put in the microwave. I don't do
Okay,
stale
so the bag
popcorn.
one, the bag one, it actually
Don't do
like
stale
left like
popcorn.
it leaves like a weird like film in your mouth or something. I don't know. It's
All-
weird.
all-
I didn't
those,
like it.
Pre-popped bag popcorn, they're all stale popcorn. I don't do that.
Yeah, it's
no.
gross.
When
Exactly.
I
No,
saw
the
that
white
come out,
cheddar,
it's not.
the smart food white
Oof.
cheddar popcorn is good.
I don't like smart food either.
Oh
So
God,
the microwavable.
fine.
Okay, this is the first one that I think that's like movie theater popcorn that has actually gotten like what makes movie theater popcorn good. It's supposed to be decadent. You're supposed to feel like you're destroying your body when you eat
Yeah,
it.
I didn't know
It
it
is
came with
salty
extra
as
butter.
fuck.
Wait,
but
please
in a
tell me
good
you
way.
y'all don't put that butter slop on there, do you?
No,
That comes with
did
it?
you? You must, right? Like, did you put the extra butter on
No.
there?
Well, first of all, I didn't notice those packets in there, so I was just
my God.
popping it, and it was delicious, and it was perfectly buttered and everything. And then I noticed it, and I put
Was
it in
it-
there. It's like this is
What's
movie
it
theater
called?
popcorn. It's amazing.
Isn't it called perfectly popcorn? You just said perfectly.
I mean,
Well, because I
guess
noticed
the
that on the
only-
thing because you sent the picture of your pup. You're like, well, I guess I'll try it. And I was like, wait, it comes with packets of butter.
Wait, where did
too?
you send
Like,
the picture?
Yeah.
Did I miss
In
it?
this- Yeah.
Oh,
he
Well,
sent it. He mailed it to my house.
Yeah, exactly. I took a picture and I mailed it to all you guys. That's how that
yeah.
works.
Did you
Um,
take it to Walgreens and get it developed first?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
But like it was like it was good. It was actually good. Like it was
Yeah.
movie theater popcorn basically.
It's hard to
and,
fuck
and
up
it was
with.
oily like butter. Like you know how most of
Yeah.
those it's like this powdery butter fake shit. Nah. Like even without putting the drizzle on it, like you could see that the melted butter was like I don't want to call it real butter.
You
but
mean like it from the bag?
yeah, it was like oily. It wasn't like, you know, that congealed butter, whatever the fuck it is that other popcorn has.
Oh,
What
that
kind of
like crap
popcorn
that
were you
sticks
eating
to the side of
before
the
this?
bag.
Uh-huh. So
What
like this
popcorn
like,
were you eating before this? Pop Secret does not have that.
it does though.
It does. I have not. None of my popcorn. I don't know where you're getting popcorn. at.
So like this was actually legitimately good. I was looking at the box. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be paying like $1 and some change more than like this better be good shit. And it's like, okay, it is. Well,
You're
I'm not gonna
impressed.
be getting it all the time, but like it was good.
See, we
4
don't
stars.
only say bad things about AMC.
Well, hold on. My son and my husband also went to AMC today and saw the Minecraft
Mhm.
movie and said it was pretty funny and pretty good.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I don't think Jack Black can be not funny in anything. Like it's impossible for him not to be funny, even if he's got bad writing.
My kid loves Minecraft, so I knew he would love it.
So now none of the people who call us AMC haters can dunk on us, though I'm sure the
Right?
Project Popcorn people will be
We
all
win.
over us now. But yeah, we have a new contender in the meme stock category, guys.
Oh my God, is that Newsmax?
What is
or
it?
Yes.
Oh, isn't it down like way more than that now?
Oh
it's
yeah,
really back down
it
to them?
definitely is, because here it was after
Yeah.
that wasn't Friday where it closed at Friday.
62%? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Jasper's
Oh,
closed
yeah.
at Thursday, down 62%. It lost half, and then
I don't know who priced this
and
thing.
then
Like,
to close out Friday, it halved again, down
didn't
to
they price it at like?
$45.
14.
But they
yeah.
priced the IPO at $14.
Yeah.
Who priced
So it's
this
still
thing?
way above the IPO if you got in at that, but like
Yeah.
everyone else got reamed. Absolutely
I was
ruined.
I have
like,
a
I was
question.
in a group chat and I was like, open the options chain. So I wanted to.
Well, yeah. So speaking of that, right? Is it possible to short an IPO? Can you do that, or do you have to wait
I mean,
a
if
while?
you can find
or-
locates, yeah.
Yeah, if you can find locates, yeah, that's the
Best
hardest
of
thing.
luck to you on finding a locate, though.
But the options chain isn't gonna like,
Pop up for another
there
couple
has to be a
weeks or whatever.
demand for the options chain, which I'm sure there will be.
Yeah. So how do
But
they judge what the demand? Like, how do they know if is it just a trading volume or something of the shares, and then they'll do an options chain?
yeah,
Or
or just like the demand to have options, right? Like so, I mean, options is just another income stream. So like if people want to buy the options, then the OCC is going to put an options chain on it.
yeah, do the options. Do it,
I know.
OCC.
Can you do it, OCC? Can you open them? Open.
Yeah, so we have that. I figured it'd be fun to go over that.
Although with the VIX
We
at
have
45,
another.
the price, like the VIX being up this high, the option prices are fucking whack.
Why do you
So
think I've been like? I'm gonna stay away from that now that the market's going.
yeah, the
boop,
spreads
but
are
I
yeah,
was selling cash secured puts because like some of the premiums have been pretty juicy. Not
the
gonna lie.
spreads are so blown out. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh
well,
god.
not just the spreads on like options, but like the credit spreads are also blown way the fuck out too,
Yeah, everything is. I mean, VIX at
which is not a
45
good
is
sign for
like,
anything. But you know,
yeah. That's why I put that gif of like The Office when the fire happens and he's like, "Oh my god, it's happening!" That's it. Yeah,
That's like one of the best episodes too.
yeah, it is the best episode, right?
All right. So our next topic I wanted to go over. I know we were planning on going over this before we went into our little bit of a hiatus, but the bankruptcy for nope, that's not the one I wanted. That's another subject. This one.
Yeah, not
That
yet.
company's going to be bankrupt soon too.
Yeah.
Don't
I know.
worry.
I was like, wait, oh my
Just
God,
you
did
wait.
they do it?
But the metamaterials one, there was a bunch of what was it? Subpoenas that went out, and the baggies were so extra happy about that. Platinum, you want to explain it because I think you've been following.
Well, Amy, where did they go? Did they go to the Nefarious Nine or no?
Like
The Nefarious Nine.
That's what they're calling it. But George swears up and down that they've been served, but I don't see any affidavits of service. I don't see
Yeah, I've
any.
only seen that the court approved them. I haven't seen any notice.
The only thing that's been filed. Well, the court.
Like
The only thing that's been filed is the notice of intent to issue subpoenas and the ex parte motion for them to sit for like some
The
kind of-
exam.
yeah,
but there's been no
But, like,
return of service on any of that stuff.
none of it. So
No.
like nothing, and like I don't know. The group is like, how come we haven't heard anything back by that?
Because
about
they
that? And I
haven't
was like-
served them.
Right.
I mean, like I went on a whole thing. I'm like, and I was like replying to George. Like George would like use my name in his tweets, but he wouldn't tag me.
Oh
so
my
I'd
God,
be like,
yes.
like this isn't.
So fucking childish.
Yeah,
Typical
I'm like,
George.
this isn't served. Like this is like an intent. Like it's still not a subpoena that has been
An
served. And
attempt was made.
like nothing.
An
Like
attempt
there's
hasn't
nothing.
even been made. They haven't served
Nothing.
them.
I mean, I don't know. Like I like if I don't see a service of subpoena, like an affidavit of service, then like I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, these subpoenas aren't
Nothing
served.
happened. Like,
Right.
So I think there was like a certificate of service, but it was only to the like bankruptcy lawyers, I'm pretty sure, right?
Well, no. So they put on there that like it wasn't a certificate of service. It was saying that that it was served, but it was to the their own council, like the council, and I don't
Right.
even know. I can't remember who else it was, but it wasn't to these people, right? Or it wasn't to these funds or whoever it is they
Nefarious
think that
Nine.
they're to the Nefarious Nine, right?
Yep, not
So
to them.
I don't, yeah, there's a bit.
It's like
there
the
seems to be a bit of
Sinister
confusion.
Six. Like
I don't know
Spider-Man
why.
villains?
Granting, but like
I don't
there's
know
no,
why there would be confusion, like when the record date and the pay date and the distribution date, none of it made sense. But I don't know why anybody would be confused, but here we are. But there, yeah, you can, is that the whole docket? You
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
find an affidavit of service. So they're all counting down like 10 or 14 days or whatever, and they're like, none of them have responded, and da 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 da. And I'm like,
Yeah, you still have to
So
notice
certificate
them.
of wait,
I
hold
can
on.
probably tell you why.
Yeah, you'd have to have a certificate of service or a return of service.
Maybe you stop getting all of your information from Junk Savvy and you'll be better
Well, you
off.
know that ain't gonna happen anytime soon. There's proof of interest.
So the last certificate of service, look at 1573. What's that for?
What? Wait, what? Oh, it sent me
Yeah.
all the way to the.
Just go to documents and then put in 1573 at the top. Or you can even, yeah, do that, 1573. Let's see what that was for.
It didn't help me. So we're just gonna do this, and then we're gonna go next. 1573, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Certificate of service filed by Jeffrey Hartman on behalf of Christian Leto. A miscellaneous application filed by trustee.
Okay, so what's that for?
Let's find out.
You're going to buy it?
Yeah. What is it going to
I love the little button next to it where you can like e-beg for documents now. Did you know?
I saw that.
So
I saw those.
Has anyone
It's
told the
great.
BBB
Okay,
watch
it was
this yet?
20 cents. It was 2 pages, guys. Not gonna burn down the house.
All right. Everyone make sure you like and subscribe. We need to get ad
We
revenue
need some
for
500. We need some
Yeah,
$500
we need to get back.
donations
We
going
need to
on for
get back to
Forex.
1,000 subs ASAP.
Can we run a telethon for
Oh, this
$500?
is
Oh, never
advance
mind.
payment.
Sorry, this is actually for them to get advance payment for the director and officer insurance for their multiple lawsuits that they have going on. Whoops.
You
So
owe
that's the
Forex
only
20
service
cents.
that we have right now.
Well, that's the last one I could find when I searched for service on here. So
Not
we
gonna
got
help
nothing.
us.
Yeah. So, and what's crazy is that the questions being asked are, why haven't we heard any responses yet? Instead of, does anyone know if these subpoenas were actually served? Could it be that
Well,
Amy was
that's the
actually
big
right when
question.
she was telling
No.
us that these subpoenas haven't been served? Could it
No.
be?
Impossible.
Maybe.
Only FUD
Well,
comes out of your
this is
mouth.
like the big nothing burger that George gave us last time. Like what was it that time clock he put on the website and then it
Oh
counted
my
down
God.
and then
And you
nothing.
actually were refreshing the whole
Looking nothing.
What was
will
this,
this
like
be?
counting down to bankruptcy or what?
No, this is counting
No,
down to the new
it was
year
after
when they were
bankruptcy,
counting
when he
down to
stole the
the
website
deadline
back.
for the proof of interest. I think it was.
When he
I
stole
don't
the
even think
website
that's
back.
what it was. Well, he did.
I mean,
Oh,
like
hey.
we were talking about this the other day in the space. Like,
Uh,
do we even realize
look,
like how
look, you
stupid
have to
like we
understand.
sound when we're talking about when he stole the website back? Like, what are we talking about?
I could ask. Like, it's only an hour drive down to the AMC headquarters. That's why everyone thinks that I'm some fucking Adam Aaron operative. It's like, oh, you live in Kansas. It's like, okay, so you think Kansas is some open air AMC headquarters? Like, it's only in Leawood, guys.
Everyone in Kansas City works for AMC.
Obviously.
Obviously. Not even Kansas City, Missouri. It's
Yeah,
Kansas
Kansas City is not even in Kansas.
Correct.
It's not. It's in Missouri.
Kansas City, Kansas technically doesn't exist. It's a bunch of cities that have incorporated themselves and call themselves Kansas City, Kansas. Leawood is a independent city that's part of the conglomerate that calls itself Kansas City, Kansas. And there's a bunch of other cities like that.
I did not know. Fun fact. Yeah. All right.
Oh, look at this. Are you about to pull out your what were those books, like the weird? It was like a whole weird series about cities, right? About like the fun like ghost stories or like where I don't know what I'm talking about, but there was one called Weird Texas. Whatever. Everybody's looking at me like I'm stupid, so I'm just gonna shut up.
No, you've given me something to actually look at. This sounds
Yeah,
kinda
it's a
cool.
whole thing. Guys, speaking of books, one
Yeah.
second.
Oh god, she's gonna pull out her teddy book.
So, speaking of which, while she's working on that, we did have some minor updates in the West Christian MULN lawsuit made of silliness and nothing burgers. So obviously, not plaintiff, defendant's joint motion to dismiss was denied by the court because there is a new amended complaint, I believe. Let me look at this. Let's look at this.
Okay, I'm back. Phil the Short.
Mhm.
He recommended a book that I think we should all read. Is what it is
Oh.
right here.
What is
Doom?
this?
What does it
I'm
say?
starting
This?
to worry about this black box of doom. Okay.
It's
So-
backwards though because your camera's
Oh,
backwards.
it's inverted. Okay, well, it's called I'm starting to worry about this black box of doom. Okay. And so
Mhm.
like, I mean, I can read the blurb. It's not very long. Like it's pretty short. So like, you want me to read it? But like, so it's just says outside Los Angeles, a driver pulled up to find a young woman sitting on a large black box. She offered him 200 grand in cash to transport her and her box across the country to Washington, D.C. But there are rules. He cannot look inside the box. He cannot ask questions. He cannot tell anyone. They must leave immediately, and he must leave all trackable devices behind. So it says, as these eccentric misfits hit the road, rumors spread on social media that the box is part of a carefully orchestrated terror attack intended to plunge the U.S. into a civil war. The truth promises to be even stranger and may change how you see the world. So he said everyone should read this because it goes like pretty in depth about the social media effect on these things and how these like cults and communities form around these things and like literally what we talk about. And so
Interesting.
that's what he said about like why you should read it. So I got it on his recommendation. I'm about to start it. But I don't know. It might be something interesting for if we
Yeah, we
start
get
book
back
club
doing
back
the
up.
book club thing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's a
I think
book
it's
that
about the
I
social media effect and how things get twisted. That we
there's
experience it
a
all the time.
book that I was reading that I think will also go on our list too. I haven't quite finished it yet because man, I found out Spotify allows you to listen to audiobooks, but you can only listen to so many hours in a month, even if you have premium. So like I was getting really close to the end, and it's like, oh, by the way, your monthly allotment for listening to audiobooks is expired,
Oh
you
my
pleb.
god. Ew, that's awful.
I know, right?
You ran out your
Just
data
make
plan.
me pay for the book then and
Okay.
buy it, or give me a free book once a month. I don't know, but like giving me only a set amount of hours I can listen to. But I was listening to the audiobook about the I think it was called the Spider Network, the manipulation of LIBOR. I thought that'd be a fun one at some
Oh,
point to listen to.
what is it called?
Let me see if
I
can
know
find it.
somebody who can talk extensively about that whole thing.
Yes, let me see if I can find it
LIBOR.
here.
I think I have that book.
All right. I
You're
just
talking
bought that
about
on Audible. I'm starting to worry about this black box.
Black
of
Box
Doom.
of Doom. Yeah, no, I know somebody who can
Ooh, maybe we can have them on then.
yeah, can talk quite a bit about
There it is.
LIBOR.
The Spider Network, the wild story of a math genius, a gang of backstabbing bankers, and one of the greatest scams in financial history. Talking about the
side.
people
There's
who
another
were
there's another side
manipulate
to that
LIBOR.
story though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. From what I read of the book, it seems like everybody had been involved in that. Like there was like no innocent parties.
I don't think it's called the Spider Network, but I think I have a book about that as well. But I don't think it's called the Spider Network. But yeah, anyway, so that was just something Phil the Short recommended, and I don't know, do we call him Phil the Shill or Phil the Short, whichever?
I just call him Phil usually.
I know, but if I don't say it by his moniker, then I don't know if anybody will know who he
Phil
is.
the Short, I guess you could say. 'Cause
Yeah.
I guess everyone knows him by Phil the Short for sure.
So I did read over this. We may at a later time go over the actual opinion and order for the judge. I don't like this one because it's a PDF, but it's they scanned it. What? They scanned it. It's not like an actual PDF. It's just like a scan, so you can't highlight or do anything with it.
You got to
But
OCR it before you can
yeah,
do
I'm gonna
all
have to
that.
figure out that. But I did read over it. They denied the motion to dismiss, so we will be going to discovery and everything on this. So I guess that means that Wes is gonna get his little.
Oh, this is for the spoofing thing, right? Or
Yes.
right, yeah. And did you also see there's an
Wait,
update
is
on the
it limited
gem
though?
thing?
Like, didn't they like?
No, that's for NWBO.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did read that they are going to go forward on that one because it was denied in part and granted in part, so it was not fully dismissed.
Right. So they're trying to say like that the price could have been manipulated for a short period of time and could have affected it. Like, well, I mean, the whole thing with the NWBO was they were saying like we couldn't dump shares at a higher price because of the spoofing, right? Like the company was saying that. And
We
so
couldn't fuck our shareholders because someone else was fucking them before us.
I feel
Pretty
so
much.
sad for you.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so then, they had said there's not long-term price impact for it, but potentially there could be short-term price impact. So they're allowed to go on with that, I guess.
Yeah. We'll see once they get discovery if we don't get summary judgment.
Right.
But right now they did get past the basics. You presented enough.
Who's the defendant?
In the MULN
NWBO or which one?
Both.
In MULN, it's Clear Streets and UBS and a couple other broker firms.
And what do they want?
That's a great question. Let me pull it back up. I'm pretty sure that they want damages. I'm going to guess.
No, what do they want from them in discovery?
Oh, well, they haven't gotten to the discovery, like actually giving discovery back and forth yet. I just know that's going to come up next because they got past the motion to dismiss. They haven't sent what they want though yet.
And then there was a gem update too, where they were like, "Hello."
Yeah, we're gonna get to that right now.
Well, but like, why? I guess my question is, why would the company get damages? Wouldn't it be the shareholders who were harmed?
No, because the company was the one selling the shares.
Yeah, that's what they're going for.
Well, at least for NWBO, I'm not sure about the whole MULN thing. I mean, yeah, of course they were selling shares, so yeah, probably both.
So we did get a opinion and order, redacted opinion and order.
Yeah, but it's not super redacted.
Yeah, as it
like
has
the other
been
ones.
in the past. But this was about the complete arbitration award granting. They go into a lot of the backstory that we're already pretty familiar with. The interim measures award, the final award, factual background. It basically goes over a lot of the same stuff we did when we got the interim award and judgment, where they basically said the only thing you can contest on is if there was shady things happening in the arbitration process. And since you didn't prove there was anything shady in the arbitration process, eat a bag of dicks. Mm-hmm. You negotiated for arbitration, and arbitration sucks. I'm not going to deny that, but you bargained for it, so you get it. And that's basically what the court said.
I don't know why anyone would voluntarily go to that as, I mean, unless you're bound to. Like, I don't know why anyone would ever voluntarily
go to arbitration.
It's the Wild West. Like, literally anything can happen.
I mean, sometimes it's not like a choice, right? I mean,
yeah, like I said, even unless you
that's what he's saying.
Bound
yeah,
to do
like
so.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I guess
and the court doesn't get to review the arbitration. Like Judge Fililia said, it's like you bargained for arbitration, so anything that happens in an arbitration, court doesn't get to review that unless it was deliberately skeezy. They don't get to review the awards. There has to be some manifest error that was done, like there's some pretty strict rules. Like Joey said, arbitration not only is the Wild West, but there's no real oversight. Like if you were to go to trial,
There's no appeal
where
either.
you get to appeal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the court awards pre-judgment interest and post-judgment interest of 9% for the months that this was not given, the $26.7 million that is owed, but has only paid $7 million of it.
Yeah, which that's actually surprised. I thought they paid nothing of it so far, but apparently they did pay some of it. But now they owe even more. Obviously,
weren't they supposed to But weren't they supposed to
remaining
put
balance
the whole like in an escrow account or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
And show proof
But then
that
there was only 7 million in that escrow.
Yeah, where they're supposed to hold the whole amount. Yeah, they only got part of it in there.
Do you think it's because of a lack of capital, or do you think they're just being
yeah?
dicks?
Oh, it definitely is a lack of capital.
Well, that's what they kept
Absolutely.
saying. Like at least that's what MULN kept saying.
All of their capital goes to David Mishry. There's always
well, that was part of what we're going to get into next, because there's been a bit of a back and forth because GEM wants expedited discovery because they think the company is going to go belly up. And by the way,
Bollinger Motors lawsuit going on too. Did you see that?
Well, and now we have the new rules of the NASDAQ. So like it remains to be seen if they're going to be able to get this next reverse split through, and if they fall back under $1 within a year, which we know it takes about 30 days. They're automatically delisted. So the new NASDAQ rules are there's no more 540 days of bullshit.
Yeah, this is good. They want to do. They're going to depose him too. I think in less than 14 days. The court has reviewed
petitioner's letter motion seeking leave to file a motion for expedited post-judgment discovery, and respondent's letter in opposition, docket 175. Court hereby denies petitioner's application for expedited discovery. The court would much prefer that the parties focus on completing post-judgment discovery within the ordinary time frames. Okay. So that was denied. Though I get GEM's wanting it to be expedited because it's like they could not have money very soon. Please
they're saying money. Do they have any money now?
No, but they were also saying that they're like basically bankrupting themselves on purpose so that they will be judgment proof. Exactly.
Yeah. And David Mishry, of course, has been continuing to get his bonuses and everything and extracting.
He only got $4 million last year.
Only $4 million.
And only $50 million a year before. So
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like when I saw some like press release that they put out about how they're cutting costs and stuff, and I was like, is David Mishry still clocking 50 million? Because if so, then this thing is pointless.
Yeah. Well, every PR they put out is pointless.
Yeah. Like the thing that made it run up this last time was it was like about some battery tech, and it was fake.
It's always fake.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Oh.
How they have survived this long, I will never understand.
It's crazy.
I'll never understand it.
I think we discussed this in the pre-show a little bit.
Oh, what did he hear?
Oh yeah. That's Emmanuel. Yeah. He was in the space.
Yeah. I was telling Corex about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Earlier.
First time.
Well, hopefully he finds his way back here because I hear he's a fan.
I think it's the first time I've ever heard.
Well, he wanted us to talk about, I guess, constitutionality of. I'm still not 100% clear. But yeah, like the constitutionality of something.
Like
his right to it was post confirmation and some summarily consummated plan to, I guess, bring up his concerns as a shareholder.
Well, bankruptcy law is not exactly my forte, so I'd have to dig into more of that. But I would assume since they were deemed to reject because they were getting nothing, that's kind of a moot matter before the court.
Well, there was a time period for them to form a committee, right? And that time period.
Yeah, and even if they did do it in time, It's
They
still
could have.
gotten denied.
Well,
even if they
and
did
it's
do it.
at the
Yeah, of
discretion of
course.
the court if
Well, that's what the
a
judge
committee
said,
can be
so.
formed, and a lot of bankruptcy courts that I've had, like there was the Regal one where the one shareholder tried to form a shareholder committee, and the judge rejected it because there was no way that the shareholders were going to get anything.
Yeah, hopelessly
But I feel
out
like
of the
he
money.
feels like his rights were violated because he was not allowed to pursue the committee post
I think he didn't realize
consummation.
how bad off it was until it was like
It was
done.
9 months
And
after.
right,
What
and
do
the
you
shares
mean?
were
How do
really
you not
gone.
realize it?
Well, like in the time where he did have any right to actually question anything in the court, because I mean it's all public. You can literally file whatever you want on the docket, right? Like he could have done that at any moment, but I feel like people didn't realize like how bad off it really was. And Ryan Cohen's really not coming in to save the day and all this other shit.
Yeah, because
until it was way too
they were
late.
getting fed a bunch of bullshit by people who were
A bunch of
shit
bullshit,
artists. Yeah. And there's not much to do after the fact because the court's going to treat it like any other, like if you had like default or summary where it's like you had your chance, that chance is expired, too bad.
Right, like where that Mitchell dude, remember he tried to like file a lawsuit against like Bed Bath & Beyond and Ryan Cohen and like all this other shit.
Yeah.
And
That's still going on in Nevada.
well, yeah, but the plan admin was like, take us out of this because they have no rights against us, and
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Yeah, because we don't, the bankruptcy pretty much got rid of any rights that you have to.
Exactly, the interests were canceled. Like your interest in the company is gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about this one briefly. I think the Genus Group Limited LLC
Oh my God,
International.
there's so much drama going on with that.
Yeah. I was looking over it because I was like, I briefly gotten disconnected from my Pacer because I didn't know when we were coming back, so I had a Pacer debt that I had to pay off before it let me go back on there. And then I looked over this case, and I was like, holy shit, there's been a lot of shit flinging going on in this case.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And did you know there's also an SEC complaint against the two people in LZG?
You know what's going on here, so I'll let
you.
No,
I mean, that's really, I don't know everything that's going on. Like me and Ocelot were kind of looking into it. And it's like, I don't know, it just seems like these two guys go into microcap companies and allegedly, like strip them of their assets and all this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the same two guys are being have charges from the SEC going on right now too.
Oh, fun times. So everyone's just doing the best for everybody here today.
Right.
So this was what I had been briefly looking at. Opinion on order vacating prior consent preliminary injunction and granting motion for preliminary injunction and staying pending arbitration. Oh, yay, Joey, it's another arbitration case.
My favorite. Takes out gun, puts in mouth.
Excuse me while I take care of some spam. Twitch has a really big problem with
bots,
spam bots. Not too bad to where one person can handle them. I don't need a moderator just yet, but they appear now and again. And I
thank you for looking out for your Twitch users.
I may just have to mod rubbing my axe. That clearly is what needs to happen here. I don't know. Well, loyal viewership badge, we'll call it that. Because I'm horrible at keeping track of chat while I'm trying to keep track of all this. But yeah, basically, so if I haven't gotten the chance to fully read this, but if I understood it correctly, they bargained, they got this injunction, this preliminary injunction put in. Yeah. And so they were reviewing the preliminary injunction. And I think for some reason, one of the parties was trying to get rid of it. Let me scroll back up here. Got summary that'll help us out here. Procedural history. This case has been somewhat convoluted procedural history. On November 7th, Genius commenced the special proceeding against LZG and V-Stock seeking a preliminary injunction in aid of arbitration. Genius sought an order prohibiting LZG and its agents, employees, attorneys, and affiliates and V-Stock from selling, transferring, assigning, encumbering, or otherwise disposing of LZG's shares of Genius, and LZG from participating in Genius shareholder meetings and Genius shareholder voting pending final resolution of the arbitration between Genius and LZG. In support of its petition, Genius submitted a declaration of Roger Hamilton, scumbag supreme. On November 12th, Judge Valilia, to whom the case was initially assigned, held a telephonic hearing and issued a temporary restraining order and a show cause for preliminary injunction. And they were temporarily restrained, held another hearing on December 10th. In that hearing, LZG international shareholders were granted leave to intervene. Oh, so the LZG shareholders who were also being unintentionally enjoined decided to join the party as well. 6 days later, on the 16th, the case was reassigned to this court as related to the earlier filed action brought by the shareholders, the interveners, against Genius and LZG. That was the other one, Kerry v. Moat, which those claims were dismissed probably because of this right here. That same day, Genius and LZG submitted a stipulation consenting to entry of the proposed order for a preliminary injunction. No opposition having been filed by the intervener and the TRO being about to expire on December 17th, the court subsequently so ordered the proposed consent preliminary injunction submitted by LZG and Genius. Later that day, investor filed a motion for reconsideration.
I have a different case, actually, that just came out on March 31st. That is Genius Group versus Ritz and Mo, and they're claiming RICO in this one.
Oh, Jesus!
Not RICO.
I guess we'll have to look at that one later because all sorts.
So
everybody's suing everybody over a Genius Group.
Yeah, there's more. But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Oh, no wonder they said it says a convoluted history. Later that day, the intervener filed for a motion for reconsideration. The court held a conference on the 6th. Intervener concluded that its motion for reconsideration is, in reality, a belated opposition to the preliminary injunction petition, since it did not address any of the criteria required for a motion for reconsideration. The court granted intervener's motion for reconsideration and stated that it would treat the motion for reconsideration as an opposition to the petition and motion for preliminary injunction. The court said it's scheduled to submit. Oh my goodness. They were not wrong about this being convoluted. The court issued a temporary restraining order to maintain the status quo until the court could pass upon the merits of LZG's motion for a preliminary injunction. The court set briefing schedule on February 28th. The court had oh my goodness. Okay, so we're trying to decide to have a status quo order granted. If you remember from our multiple times talking about status quo orders, temporary restraining orders, and preliminary injunctions, there is a 4-part standard for review: likelihood of success on the merits, likelihood of irreparable injury absent the injunction to the movement, 3, that the balance of hardships tips in favor of the moving party, and that 4, the public interest is served, which is our generic catch-all. We're going to skip over a bunch of this stuff because I get it's going to be highly convoluted, but public interest weighs in favor.
So they're apparently, I think LZG is preventing. No, wait, maybe I'm.
No, it's okay. So
That's
bond
the
is
RICO.
required.
The RICO one is the guys who are like preventing? Sorry, I had to be a mom and take off that
Preventing an
green.
ATM offer, is that what it is? Or
It's something
I think I'm
they're
thinking of
holding
something
up.
else though. There's another one that's doing that. And it's saying that, wait, is it this one? And then they're gonna have to sell all their Bitcoin or whatever to continue their operations, or is that
No,
something else?
the US said that they could not. So I think that whoever they're suing for RICO, where they were
Ritz and
whatever
Mo,
they
the
yeah
LZG guys.
yeah they did something that is going to prevent them from buying the biddy. So
No, they
and
already
like
have
through a
Bitcoin,
U.S.
I think.
court, like a judge, yeah, I know, but a judge said that, or maybe it was that the judge said they had to sell it all. I don't know.
Well, they
There's more
not
to
even
it.
that. No, I think it's that they're not able to do the ATM offering. Hold on, let me look.
There's too many. Like, maybe I'm getting my wires crossed. They're not able to do. Oh, they're not able to do the offering. Like they can't use the money from the offering to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
So,
Like they're basically saying you can't dilute shareholders to buy Bitcoin, which is.
someone should tell MicroStrategies that.
But yeah, that's what we probably need to get a little further into it because I have not. So we need to probably get into like a little more of what it is. But I think that's the RICO suit.
So it says presently defendants Ritz and Mo are extorting GNS and its insiders with an open threat that unless GNS complies with their demands to pay them millions more, so that defendants Ritz and Mo settle an independent lawsuit brought against them by the LZG shareholders.
You got a
GNS
screen share for that? You can
Yeah,
switch
sure.
that real quick.
And what is LZG again? Is that the crypto like dividend thing they were trying to do?
So this is the RICO.
Oh boy, you gotta love our RICO lawsuits. I'm gonna have to get that and tag it.
But then there's also an SEC case against them too, saying like the same thing pretty much, that that's what they were doing.
Against who? LZG
Ritz and
or
Mo.
against GNS?
Yeah,
Okay.
LZG.
Ritz and Mo.
Ritz and Mo.
Scammers, scamming scammers.
Face the same fate and the same extreme cost to its shareholders as the other microcap entities that have been victimized and shuttered as a result of their scheme. So it also says they're losing like 500.
Wait, so was this the like dividend thing they tried to do, and then they like you had to go like to that like I don't know, something happened, and then they were like, wait, no, it's not going to work. Is that what this is? These guys?
Did
they
do
try
it?
to do like some kind of like dividend, like the same
Didn't
kind
they
of thing
do
that
like
I
some
think?
weird like crypto thing or whatever, and people didn't get it?
And then they got, I think it got
Yes.
stopped by the SEC or something because they were using some platform or something that.
Yeah, they were using so whatever the site or exchange or whatever it was that they were directing people to go to, like something happened with that. I mean, this is a really convoluted story, but it's hard to keep up with all this stuff.
As we're finding out as we're going along here. So what's the charges they have at the bottom? I'm not charges, but the complaint of the.
Genius made payments. They had agreed to pay. Oh, they tried to. Oh, they actually did try to. Remember, he went on his honeymoon and like had the.
They tried to take. Yeah.
They tried to oust him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. That was so long. Like that. Wait, no, that was only.
It feels
year.
like it was long ago, but I think it was just.
It was only 6 months ago.
Yeah, like September or something.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, he took the step of holding a board meeting without notice to Hamilton, in violation. He through a series of misleading false claims and promises to the attending directors, Mo forced a vote to fire Hamilton and install himself as CEO in order to take control of Genius and its $150 at the market funding agreement. This is what they're preventing them from doing, like this $150 million at the market funding agreement.
Preventing who? GNS?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then
Which is
he
probably
was
something they definitely need
reinstalled.
because otherwise they're
How are
not.
they preventing them from doing it?
Let's see. LZG shareholders filed 2 lawsuits against Ritz and Mo, and then
So someone just gave me a heads up
private
here and
investigators.
yeah, so it says someone just sent me a message that said when you look into it, notice when they use new issues and classes versus simply diluting. So are they trying to do some trickery in the issue and classes of the offering?
Maybe.
See, and then on December 11th, the SEC filed a lawsuit for fraud against the main financier of Ritz and Mo, John Clayton. Ritz and Mo had introduced Hamilton to Clayton.
I know that's Chesapeake
before.
Capital Group, but I read that as Cheapskate at first, and I'm like, I mean,
That tracks.
However, when it became clear that their proposal was to manipulate Genius's share price, Hamilton declined. Okay.
yes,
Definitely,
we are
we're on
on
YouTube.
YouTube. You
New
can
channel.
go. You can
It's
go
in my
to.
tweet.
Yeah, it's in Amy's tweet. It is
Here it is.
YouTube.com/@SunnyCorax.
This is the one here. Ritz and Mo proceeded to file a petition for their own temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction to prevent Genius from being able to utilize its $150 million at-the-market funding line, issue shares, raise funds, or grow its Bitcoin treasury. And now they're incurring $500,000 in damages daily
Jeez.
because they're unable to do that because of the restraining order.
Funny because the bond that is supposed to be posted.
GNS is catching 500,000.
That's what they're saying.
Let me flip
Genius.
back over here real quick. But yeah, that's the bond that
Why?
those guys are having to post for the injunction is 500,000.
Oh.
So
Every day?
no, not every day, but just as a flat. Like, I'm not saying they're the same thing. I'm just saying that it's kind of amusing that that's the amount that they are having to post.
But he said that. Didn't he say every day?
$500,000 a day. Yep, that's what it says right here. They have been incurring $500,000 in damages daily for 6 weeks since February 15th, 2025.
For what?
I don't know.
Okay.
Court fees and costs or something. I don't know. This is craziness.
Yeah, this is nuts.
When Hamilton it's like a
Convoluted
scene.
as shit.
When Hamilton confronted Ritz on his scheme by asking, "You are saying you think it's okay for you to go and sell or raise money and own and build Prime Source separately while at the same time still not settling the arbitration on Prime Source?"
Which is what we're dealing with in the other case, is trying to get the arbitration going. This is great.
What the fuck is Prime Source? What's Prime Source?
I guess the platform that they're trying to make or something.
I don't want to kind of give you how that will proceed, but there is a situation in which LZGI is fighting this arbitration because the party is LZGI and Prime Source can move on itself. And then detailing how he would proceed with his fraudulent scheme, together with naming others, including Mo, who would be involved in this scheme.
Ooh, the Rico Enterprise. Are we going to get an actual lawyer giving us an actual explanation of how Rico works and not some fake lawyer?
Well, I don't think you can do Rico under securities.
Correct.
You cannot.
And so no. But
wire fraud, mail. That's where they're going for. They're going to call it wire fraud.
It's one of your favorites, Corax. It's one of your favorites.
One of my favorites. Ah! Oh my God! The perfect clown shoes lawsuit. Of course, it's a Rico.
Oh
my God. Mark Bazile strikes again. I don't know. This one time, if they frame it right, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
they can get Rico, but we'll see. Like,
Yeah, we'll definitely
I'm
see
willing
for
to-
sure.
I'm willing to go along with Mark on this one because it does actually feel like an actual Rico. But
Right.
this at the very least, this is some sort of scheme to defraud.
It's definitely a scheme to defraud. Yeah, I would say so.
So I'm more willing to go along with him on this than some of his other harebrained schemes. I think he's the lawyer on this one too. But conclusion: this superseding preliminary injunction is doing exactly what Genius had originally requested when it sought a preliminary injunction. It is hereby ordered that the prior preliminary injunction issued is vacated, and the parties' separate motions is here further ordered that a bond will be posted by Genius and LZG, $500,000 each. And there was some delay in LZG posting its bond, but it is now posted. So fun times in the
I feel like
city.
we're gonna need to make like a
A
A
diagram.
flow chart
Yeah,
and
something.
have a dedicated video about what's going
I'm
on
still
here.
slightly confused. Like, and who are
Like, I'm still
who is
confused.
LPG?
I know.
Yeah, like who are these people? Like, how
Good
did they even
question.
get here?
Yeah,
Like,
and then how
I'm
does
still like, is this about the crypto
Clayton, how's that
dividend or
involved?
is this
Am
Rico?
I actually
Like, I'm
going to
so
use my
confused.
pin board and have the string and draw lines between the
Yes.
parties?
As
Like,
long as it's far enough where no one can see it at all. Like, yeah. We need a whiteboard.
yeah, well, I have whiteboards. Don't you worry. I've got all the stuff. I don't know if I'll be on later for X, but I'm sure that it'd be really easy. Well, I'm not on X at all anymore, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yep,
though you can
got
hook
the
up with
boot.
Platinum and Amy.
Oh my god, it'll be so late though. Like, by the time
Maybe
we're done with this.
Sunday or something. I don't know.
But
Yeah,
that's
that's the Genius stuff. I feel like we're gonna have to sit down and maybe I'll make an edited video. We'll work out and we can clip things together and make an actual, and then we can have like the flow chart. It'll be like a CoffeeZilla video, except on a much smaller budget.
yeah.
I mean, either that or we need to make like a board with like you peel off the thing. You're like, did you guess LZG is such and such?
Like an Abby Lee Miller pyramid.
Right?
Just
Like,
like,
it's so
okay,
weird.
so LZG is at the bottom of the pyramid this week.
But like, and here's the thing about this: like this kind of shit. Like, if this was going on in something I was invested in, I would be like, I'm out.
$10.
What is the
Mhm.
$10 studio?
Well, 'cause
Remember that
CoffeeZilla
calls his the
$10 million.
the $10 million studio. So
Okay.
I just need the $10.
But like stuff like this, like, and I don't know if people are like stoked about whatever this is, probably because it says Rico on it. But like, if that kind of shit was going down in something that I was holding, like,
No,
Oh my
I'm
God.
out.
No,
Well,
I'm
if
out.
Like-
you haven't figured out that
like,
you need to be
there's-
out of GNS by now,
Yeah.
there's no help.
Yeah, they haven't filed their financials in over a year. So
Yeah.
like it could, like you can't get more red flags. Like, what are you doing? What is this company?
So we
something
had
about education.
theoretically.
Yeah.
It's a very
I don't see
costly education and not buying into shitco penny stocks is what it is. That's its business model.
Chico tuition.
Oh, and so next up is we were wanting to.
I'm sorry, NYG. I'm not sure if you know exactly where you are in the world, but this isn't a space.
But anyway,
Did they just ask for the mic?
we're here for the main event.
No.
We're at the main event. And the thumbnail on the YouTube side, we had something I want to talk about because I thought it'd be good to talk about with Amy because she has a mortgage background and it would make sense to talk about these things. But I wanted to take a bit since people were really excited about it. We already talked about one thing that I thought was kind of a new up and coming meme stock with the whole Newsmax or whatever, the flip. So why don't we talk about Fannie and Freddie and the possibility of them leaving conservatorship? Because there's been a lot of stuff on the Reddit side. I've heard some insanely dumb numbers as to where people think this stock price is going to go, like $50 a share. and stuff like that. So
keep going. I'll be right back.
okay. So I was going to break it down into a few things. We could talk about the politics of it. We could talk about the management of it. These are all elements that go into an investment. We could talk about the financials. And I figured when Amy comes back at some point, we could talk about the overall like Fannie and Freddie structure and like, is this even a good idea? What's going on here? I mean, we talked about before the show that this was going to be a long process. This isn't something that's going to like you said, there's going to be an entire period for comment on releasing them. And maybe you could talk a little bit about some of that structural stuff to start us off, Amy.
Well, I mean, I know that Fannie and Freddie switched over their business model from making them wanting to like a guarantee, right? Like more of the implicit guarantee, and it's like 80% of their business. So like some of the stuff just doesn't really make sense to me. Like how they expect for, I mean, they alone hold like 70% of mortgages, and like I don't really get how you take away the implicit backing of the government and expect to either still have investors in this, still maintain its status, because like part of the reason that they took conservatorship of them is because it they were taking really, doing really risky shit and loading up with subprime and all that stuff. And they were like, look, if you're gonna have the backing of the government, then, we're just gonna
especially if you're going to be basically the mortgage floor, the one that scoops up all the shit.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of risks in privatizing them. Like they're as far as what surely they're not going to go after subprime again, right? Like surely they'll learn their lesson. But you're taking away that sort of implicit backing of the government, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
The only one that has explicit backing is Ginnie Mae. So I don't know how you're gonna sell this to investors, and so a lot of it just doesn't even really make sense to me. And then on top of that, the government basically has dibs on $330 billion in their preferred stock. So
yeah, because they've got
really
warrants and stuff that they can issue for that.
I don't really know how the PSPAs or whatever it's called, I don't even know what it is, they're entitled to it. And so I don't know how you IPO it
well,
to investors.
Would it need to IPO? Because it's technically still
even
listed,
uplist.
but it's OTC.
I mean, even if you uplist,
yeah.
right? Just think about the introduction or at least owing the government $330 billion in preferred share, what that's going to do to shareholders.
I think talking about the preferred shares is a good way to connect into the financial numbers that I was looking at with this, because Joe, he just up and disappeared, but hopefully he'll come back. I'm going to switch us into this mode until he does. Looking at the financials for everything, because if you look, they already got a shit ton of preferreds. This is the entire list of preferreds.
Can you take care of whoever this is in the chat?
I do not see anyone in the chat. They're already blocked from, I can't do anything if it's an X chat.
Why am I still seeing it? Oh,
well, I blocked him out of the restream chat, so I don't see them anymore, and they don't.
But I think he's on your thing.
I literally could care less. Just ignore him.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. So Fannie Mae has you've got this whole list of.
Or I couldn't care less. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Well, I was gonna just tell you to block him.
We had this conversation yesterday.
Yeah, I've done that same mistake. But this is for Fannie Mae alone. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different classes of preferred shares. Wow. Joey lost power and his internet. He'll be back later.
Oh my God.
But and they're all different, right? So let me.
Yeah.
With you've got the
rates.
5 1/4 non-cumulative preferred Series B. So you have to go through the classes and the each series and I mean, it's a lot.
Well, and here's the big thing that I was looking at. So let's look at. Let me make sure I got the right one here.
And like that's
Um,
that's the thing, like that. How do you in uplisting and you still have that happening? Like I don't know. And then like then you what if everyone is like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this and not having the backing of the government, like, and they start dumping this and like I mean I don't even know, but
well,
I just
I
think
haven't even
Well,
gotten
and
hold
then
to.
on.
and then you're gonna put upper pressure, you're gonna put upwards pressure on mortgage rates and it's just
Well, I
And then
haven't even
the
really
Fed
gotten.
can't buy either, right? Like the Fed can't add any more mortgage-backed securities to their balance sheet if they were to not have um, government backing. Isn't that true?
I mean it you would yeah I mean I don't know if it's true, like I'd have to look that up, but I mean that's what would make sense logically.
Yeah.
Why would the Fed hold them on their balance sheet if they don't have the implicit guarantee?
Well, and here's the thing about this is why I'm
Because who
talking
are they
about.
going to sell them to? That's the thing. Is like who are they going to sell them to?
Right.
Well, here's the thing that I was talking about with the whole preferred system is because if you look at the preferreds, that's all the preferreds for Fannie Mae, and then you look at Fannie Mae's balance sheet here, like this is not balance sheet, but income statement. This is the one that's on Fidelity, and you look here, and this is a company that is making a pretty good chunk of change, but then it all gets taken away by the preferred shares because you have to pay out the preferred shareholders their dividends, and then after that the company makes like, well, okay, it's up here, sorry. Yeah, so you got the operating income, and then you have to pay out on those dividends, and then afterwards you can basically nothing, on a per share basis. Like there's no realized value to shareholders. The shares are pretty much worthless. Where all the accretive value is in the preferred shareholders collecting their dividends and then fucking off.
Correct.
So like, so like,
Hey,
that's
Joey.
my big problem with this is
It's
like,
just it's just super complex, and like the way that people talk about it on Twitter, like it's going to be the next like short squeeze, and you got Curtis talking about naked shorts from 2008, and like trying to basically turn this into like a meme stock, and it's like
well, it's OTC. You
um
can't short it.
no,
Yeah.
he's talking about basically
Oh, that
I think he's
stupid
almost
theory,
saying like
whatever.
naked shorts are
You
trapped in
can
it from
short OTC.
2008.
You
Oh,
can short OTC stocks.
okay.
Phil the short taught me that.
But I
It's
think
just
it's
really risky to do so.
Yeah, exactly. He's a
what's
little
the
bit of a
what's the
DJ, and
margin? Yeah,
he's
what's
okay
the
with that.
margin like on that? Kind of margin you got to have for that? I don't know.
I don't want to think about
It's an
it.
HNWI.
But
But
yeah, I
like,
mean, I just like it's
that's
not a
the problem
joke,
with
and
both of
it's
these.
not a meme stock, and like
Yeah.
Like
I
here,
don't know, I'm
I
just
did
like
this
so
for
annoyed
only
by
the
it.
Fannie Mae one, but you look at it, and so that's like 14 billion. Now, given they got a huge cash flow, I don't know how much of it they can actually use, but you'd like to make a company that actually makes money, you'd have to clear out this 14 billion of the preferred to actually accrete value to shareholders in Fannie Mae. And so like,
The
Joey, are
goal
you
isn't to.
okay?
There was a. We've been having storms. Uh, the goal isn't to make money. Like why do people? This is not a company that was ever intended to make money. It was intended to provide
right, but I'm
stability.
looking at it from the already presumed thing that they are going to release it from conservatorship. And if you were going to buy these shares, looking at it from like even if it was released from conservatorship, this is a company that its earnings are negligible when you look at the fact that all of that value is extracted by the preferred shareholders. So the value to common shareholders is nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then,
And
I'll
that's
just
before
I'll say
even
it
like,
before anyone else does. See again in somewhere between 10 and 30 years with another conservatorship, because they've proven time and time again that anytime you let any of these organizations go private, whether it be Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, uh, go entirely private, you're
Well,
just
it's
going to
not
end
meant.
up
It's
backing
like you
government
said. It's not.
hands.
Yeah, it's not. It's not meant to short squeeze. It's not. It's meant to be like. It's meant to like a U.S. Treasury, right? Like you buy
Yeah.
it, you get a coupon payment, and then at maturity, like it's just weird how it's the way that it's being
and,
sort of.
and even that it's how it's being advertised, because
It's supposed to be safe, right?
like these preferred coupons
And with the
are the
government
ones that are
backing, it's
extracting the
like
value. Like
low
that's
risk.
where all of it is. Let me see if I can find something here real quick. So it'd be FN.
I mean, you look at Reddit and everyone's talking about it, and on Reddit, on Twitter, and other places. Like this is going to happen tomorrow. Like this is
Not
going
a
to,
chance.
like someone's going to be able to snap their
No
fingers.
way. This is like a years long process. This is not.
Yeah.
This is nothing that's going to happen overnight.
And what's really weird about all of this is that a lot of these preferred shares, if you really think let's think through this. So for value to go to common shareholders, you need to get rid of the preferred shareholders, but you can, like in the contract, it says, you can buy back the preferreds, but they're at a set fixed price. Like some of them were have a face value of 25, some of them 20. I really think the better play, if you were going to go with because right now there's no value to the common shareholders, there's no earnings, so you'd have to get rid of the preferreds to accrete value to common shareholders, which means at some point some levels of those preferred will have to get bought out.
I
And they
don't
have
want.
face values of $25, like the face value of it, and a lot of these
So
are
you've
trading
dug
under
a
the
lot
face
deeper into
value
this.
of the preferred shares. So they're
You've
basically
done. You've dug a lot, financially, you've dug a lot deeper than this than I have.
yeah.
So I'll also say I don't want common shareholders to have great value in this. This is not a company that I want to bend to the will of shareholders. Period. This is a stability product. It's like a treasury bond, like Amy said. I don't want profit to be at the forefront of certain companies. Certain companies, it is toxic to the market for profit to be at the forefront, and this is one of them.
I understand what you're saying, Joe.
Or not profit, growth in particular.
I understand what you're saying, Joey, but I'm also looking at it impartially from the avenue of if this does get spun out, what are people really looking at here as far as the financials of this company, and where all the cash flows are going to, and what capital stack, and all of this information. And there's so many layers to the preferred shares, and they get their slice of the pie first. And by the way, a lot of those preferred shares are trading under the face value of the preferred share. And until you get rid of those, there is no value to the common shareholders, because there's almost no earnings coming out of these companies, because they all get sucked up by the preferred shareholders first.
Did you see this, the letter from the old FHFA director to Janet Yellen
Why
about?
don't you go over that? Yeah.
So this is pretty much saying, they're talking about what kind of needs to happen prior to the termination of conservatorship. So the agency shall issue a public request for information outlining in detail one or more specific options for the termination of conservatorship, and seek input on potential impacts of each option on the housing market and on the enterprises. Following the public input period, the agency shall brief the Financial Stability Oversight Council on a summary of the public input received, including input about factors related to each option that could have potential impacts on U.S. financial stability. Not more than 6 months prior to conservators' request for Treasury's consent pursuant to Section 5.3 of the agreement related to a termination of the conservatorship of an enterprise, the agency shall provide Treasury a specific proposal that A, sets forth the agency's recommended approach, B, reflects the input received in response to the public request, C, includes a market impact assessment that describes how the recommended approach may impact the housing market and the enterprise, and D, addresses amendments, if any, to the agreement, the certificate, or the warrants that may be required to implement the recommended approach to the termination of the conservatorship. Also, they have to consult with the president, which, whatever, he'll be like, do it, whatever. And then that's it. So it's not going to be quick. It'll be a little bit.
and even if it does happen, and even if it does happen, like this is going to be a situation where like everyone's gung ho. They think that there be gold in them hills, and like I said, like
No, we'll see.
Platinum said, it's going to take a while, and B, with the current structure of how the company, when it comes out of conservatorship, is structured, like common shareholders aren't exactly going to get much, and I don't know where the value is. I even have 1 second here if I can pull this because I have my.
It just looks like
screener.
a less safe option to just park your money and have it sit there than a bank account. That's all it is. It doesn't look like it's going to
Because
make
if you
any
look at the
shit.
screener here, like it's got a good EV to EBITDA, but you get because of the extraction of the entire value, like the EV to earnings is flipping atrocious. Um, like it seems like a decent company. It's just that is also horribly undervalued because you also go over here to like price to book is like crazy low. Like you talk about something that's a quarter of its book value, but then again, it's also a bank, so that and that's also not calculating how risky are those loans on its book. So I mean, that's just kind of a raw shoot off the number. Like looking at like general screener stuff, it looks pretty okay, but the problem is like there's like if you're just gunning for the common shares, I don't see where the value is. If you get maybe some of the preferreds, like and get it under what the face value of the preferred share is, if they want to try and knock those out, I mean that sounds like you're going to have your upside cap because the price is never going to go over that because that doesn't make any sense because then the company would just close those out. But like value wise, I don't see it there unless there's some structural changes as to how the company's capital structure is allocated between the common and the preferred. If you're buying the common shares, you're literally buying a lotto ticket that's worth nothing unless something changes, or they start making a lot more money, which like from some of the stuff I was seeing, like the revenue growth is not very great for either of these companies. And then you also have to look at the management issue because our good friend Bill has stacked him and his friends into the board of directors, and so you're really trusting that they'll manage the company well. We'll see. But I ain't holding my breath on that. So like that, those are all really big risk issues, and I don't think people are taking those particularly as seriously as they should be. When it comes,
You mean common shareholders or?
Yeah, the people that are investing in these common shares expecting that they're just going to make buku bucks.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, unless I can't even see why right now.
Yeah. That was the big thing that we wanted to kind of go over because, like I said, there's a lot of the stuff in there. And that was just me doing some quick research this week going over it. I'm sure we could spend a whole lot of time going over some of this deeper stuff in there that I think people
if they start, going towards it more, sure, we will. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff that will happen
between here and now
in
that we
time.
still don't know.
Right.
Like for instance, I don't think this is a super big thing, but I did see it. Like they manage a really big portfolio, so it's something to watch out for. But I think it was 4 days ago. Freddie Mac sells 261 million in non-performing loans. They just kicked them. Yeah, because like they weren't getting paid, and the underlying asset, I think, as what was in the report, was that the value of the actual property was not that great either. So it was just 250 million buy.
Wow.
So that covers that. We have some things to wrap up the show. Some stuff that we hadn't talked about in a while. Some people that have been topics on the show before that we've been needing to catch up on. There's been a lot of stuff about our good friend Andrew Tate.
Oh boy.
First of all, he decided to sue a bunch of social media personalities, including Gadget, one of the people that I tend to get a lot of information on these cases from, murdered by Crowns. And let's like here, Common Sense Skeptic, one of the YouTube channels I like following that also goes after Elon Musk, just like a whole shotgun of people that they decided that they're going to sue and accounts, which is really funny because they all have them marked as John and Jane Doe's. And by their handles, they didn't do any pre-action discovery to find out where these people were, and they're doing it in the same state Florida court that they've done all these lawsuits in.
Well, and a lot of these personalities, their real names are out there. You don't need to file these as John and Jane Doe lawsuits.
Well, it shows how much that they really that this is just a show.
Yeah, like a lot of these people, we know who they are.
They also sued in Florida, which I bet you 99%, if not 100% of the people they're suing, Florida doesn't have jurisdiction over them. They don't live in the state of Florida. They're not a resident of the state of Florida. They don't do business in the state of Florida. They have no reason that a Florida court would have jurisdiction over them. I've listened to some of the accents of these people, namely Gadget. And judging by his heavy English accent, I'm going to take a wild shot in the dark and say that Florida does not have jurisdiction over someone living in the UK. What do you think, Joey?
I think they're both British citizens. Why the hell is he not suing him in Britain, where the law?
That's a great question.
Much less stringent, or sorry, much more stringent, and much less forgiving than they are in the US, and it's because he doesn't have a fucking case.
I also learned about this one this week, that apparently Jane Doe's ex-boyfriend, I hate to say it, but it sounds like Jane Doe has a problem with picking abusive men, because her ex-boyfriend was going to turn over text messages and conversations between her and him to the Tates for their lawsuit. And her lawyer filed a cease and desist against her ex-boyfriend, and her ex-boyfriend turned around and sued her with the help of the Tates. Amazing.
So just bankroll lawsuits against every woman who says you're a rapist. Yeah, that's fantastic.
That has luckily been dismissed for failure to state a claim. But not dismissed with prejudice, so they'll probably get another shot at this.
It's our favorite reason for dismissal.
Then this was the big news from I think Friday. Yes. So there was a marked confidential document filed to the docket. We didn't get to see what was in it, but the key part in it is that highlighted spot there that says, pursuant to Florida rules of administrative blah, 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 until the United States federal investigation and or prosecution by the Department of Justice for the Southern District of New York of Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate has concluded. So
they're being investigated for, if it's in the Southern District of New York, or there's some sort of financial fraud. Possibly. Because that's the only connection to New York that I can. Everything else has been in Florida, and they don't generally go to New York, so probably something financial.
Yeah, and that's the thing is so they came to Florida. Florida said that they were going to start investigating them. They went to California. Apparently, California started investigating them. So they flew back to Romania because they figured out that no one wants them and that they're just kind of screwed there. Then UK said they wanted extradition while they were there in Florida, and that was, I think, denied because Florida's like, nah, they're here. We're investigating them right now. You can wait your pretty flippin' turn. And so, yeah, I think they're starting to figure out that.
Aren't they now under federal investigation in the U.S.?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, the Southern District of New York.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, okay.
Which is so weird.
Something. Why is that weird?
It's just weird to me because
it imply that
they don't have a connection.
Financial.
Yeah, it implies that it's probably something financial because they don't. None of these accusers have been out of New York.
Got it.
Let me see. There was a couple other things, I think. Oh yeah, that was we already talked about the Florida one. Let me see here. What else was going on here?
Well, if their
Oh,
quote
yeah.
unquote
Here we
real
go.
world was that easy to hack, I'm sure that like someone's got a hold of the financials on the back end for all this shit,
Oh, yeah.
and has probably reported it to every agency in the federal government that could possibly do something about it.
Joey, are you the one who recommended the Clown World book or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
It
I
is
started
so
listening
good.
to that, and it's so good already. Yeah.
So what are we talking about? Clown World book?
Yeah. So explain what it is, because I only just started it, but it
It's
sounds
a
like
guy
this is
who
infiltrated into their whole thing.
and like did all of the
Oh.
rituals. Like he like fucking fought a UFC fighter for no reason.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to read that one. This is some of the smaller stuff as we head into the final stretch here. Elon Musk sold
Yeah.
X to himself and gave it the valuation he wanted.
This was also like the day after they announced that Doge was like going into the SEC or whatever.
Yeah, which is like ever since I heard that the whole Doge is going into the SEC, it's like great. So all of the get ready to
All
have
the
a
Elon
limp.
files getting shredded.
Well, yeah, and get ready for an SEC that's more toothless than a.
Oh, it already is. You know, they've already like shut down headquarters. They've already fired a bunch of people. They put in that executive order where they have to ask Congress before they can do any investigations. Like they're
What?
already. You didn't know that? Yeah.
No. Oh my god. That's so
The
It's
dumb.
already
rules
done.
don't matter. Crime is literally legal right now.
Literally. I mean, that's a Trump shitcoin. Like,
Oh yeah, I did see the thing where the SEC said that they're not in charge of overseeing shit coins. If you get
Yes.
scammed by fucking
That's
cryptocurrency,
your own
tough
problem.
shit. The police don't care.
Well, then it would fall under the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. But oh wait, they've already ripped that to shreds too and plan to
Mhm.
absolutely
Yep.
eviscerate it.
Told them
That's-
not to go into work.
Yeah.
And also for the SEC, they're offering them $50,000 as like a go away money, pretty much, for people
Like
to quit.
they've been doing with every other government agency.
Yep.
Awesome.
So after all of that, now this.
Anyway, that's just.
So is the $33 billion because he already paid off some of it? Is that where
Probably that he paid off some of
Okay.
the loan, and
So he's
what's
just
really,
shrunk it by the value that he's paid in.
yeah, and
'Cause what
then
was the
basically
ori-
dumped it off on X because no one wanted to buy it for the obscene valuation that he bought it at. So he got himself to buy it by using VC money for Grok and XAI and basically so that way he won't get margin called as Tesla plummets into the Earth's mantle.
Yeah.
He may still get, because I mean his entire lifestyle.
I
is
want to
based
know
on
how they
Tesla
agreed to
shares.
that because I get it's more or less a refinancing, but I don't think that XAI had 33 billion just kicking around.
No, he's
So
just
who is
shuffling
the
the
bank? Who's the bank who took that loan? Because you don't have Musk's Tesla shares as collateral anymore. So what's your collateral and why did you agree to that collateral?
Well, wouldn't you still
SpaceX.
though? Or no?
Maybe
No?
SpaceX.
Because XAI bought it now. It's XAI's problem. It's the reason why some like people have themselves and a corporate entity, even though you are a self-employed singular business person, because the company can go bankrupt, but that doesn't mean you're bankrupt, and then you can just let the company fucking eat shit.
Right. Yeah.
But we don't know what's backing any of this.
Correct.
I think
It's a private company.
Well, the only other company that could be backing it would be SpaceX. It's just two most profitable companies. Twitter doesn't make a profit at this point. It's hemorrhaging money.
Oh, that reminds me. Well, I'm gonna skip ahead because I know he's on here. Where is that case? Let me find it. It was one of the ones I wanted to get to. Ah, here we are. I'll switch to it. We've been meaning to get to this one. We've been waiting for. It looks like that Mark Cahodes has gone ahead and is he's going anti-slap on this one. The whole Holbrook Holdings, where he was basically accused of defaming Holbrook Holdings with all the accusations and everything that he made about it. So we got where's the anti-slap? Brief in support to strike for anti-slap. Introduction. So let's see here. Oh, Georgia's anti-slap. So wait, are we in Georgia? Wait, we're in Montana. So why are we doing Georgia's anti-slap? Why do we care about Georgia's anti-slap if we're in Montana?
Is Georgia like a Kansas thing where you have to do it based
And
on
we're
your
in the
own?
District of Montana. They're like, what do we care about Georgia's anti-slap?
Well,
I'm confused.
It's like, is this a federal lawsuit?
Yes.
It's probably does the federal court recognize the anti-slap law in the state, like in
That they're in. Maybe. Georgia's substantive law applies. Georgia's substantive law in the case because Georgia has a more significant relation. Oh, they're trying to get it moved to Georgia. That's why. As a more significant relationship to this litigation. So that's why they're going for that. That's really interesting.
Why would you want to go to Georgia? That literally just doesn't make sense.
This is from Code's speech in connection with an issue of public interest and concern. Okay. I'll have to look at this more in depth, though. I'll probably do a side one with this. Holbrook is not likely to prevail. So that's his arguments. Let's go look at Holbrook's. And at least give me some places to start when I dig into this. Wow, they give us a much more beefier brief. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win, but it seems like they got a much better argument they're planning.
Can you like zoom in a little bit? I can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here.
Thank you.
Because I have it on my TV screen sized monitor. It makes the font really small. Defamation against Cody's responsible for relentless, unhinged, and vindictive smear campaign. Filed a special motion to strike, purportedly under Georgia's anti-slap statute, seeking dismissal of Holbrook's claims. The motion should be denied for two reasons. Georgia's anti-slap law does not apply in this case, and even if it did, Holbrook easily satisfies its requirements. Oh, this is going to be fun. Yeah, we know the background.
Wait,
Yeah,
I don't
we
even
saw
know the
those
background.
tweets.
What did he say? Just bring me to the tweets. Yeah. What did he say?
Also, he also has a problem with...
Non-investment grade securities.
Oh, yeah, this was from his whole when he was short Riley.
Own his shit-ass mutual fund. Friends don't let friends own. Okay, good to see another. Okay.
They had a lot more tweets in the complaint when we went over it, but that was back in like December. So I can understand if you... But yeah, he was basically
just looks like free speech shit.
Well, no, if you go back to the tweets from the December one, like I don't know why
those, but the ones they're citing here suck.
Yeah, they're not very.
Yeah, they're not so bad.
Under Montana's choice of law rules, Georgia's anti-slap statute doesn't apply in this litigation. Georgia law provides for an anti-slap defense. Montana law does not. Whether Cohodes can avail himself of an anti-slap defense thus poses a choice of law question. To answer that question, the court must apply Montana's choice of law rules, which incorporate the most significant relationship test from the restatement. Okay. There's no mystery about how that test applies in this case. Just last year, Montana Supreme Court applied the most significant relationship test to decide whether a defamation defense was defined by the law of the defendant speaking's home state or the plaintiff's as the state which the law governs given defense the state which is most significant relationship to the defense rather than the state with the most significant relationship to the underlying claim of the case as a whole, which makes sense. Which is why they're suing in Montana, because Coyotes is in Montana. He's the defendant. The law that makes sense is Montana. That seems like a pretty straightforward argument. Bunch of other things. I feel like this is going to require an actual me sitting down and doing a video. Choice of law analysis is misguided. Even if Georgia's anti-SLAPP statute applied, Cody's motion would still fail. Over its claims reliably surmount that low bar, the court would have to deny Cody's motion. Even if the statute applied, Cody's motion identifies just 3 bases for striking Holbrook's claims, all the meritless. First, he suggests that 2 of his tweets at issue are not of and concern Holbrook, but the content and context of the tweets shows otherwise, as does Cody's own commentary on them. For tweets about against Holbrook, he's on the fraud. Bet your Riley assets banned. See, this is what I meant. See, he's got some juicier ones.
Yeah, but like even that
fraud straight up.
He's in on the fraud. Yeah.
I think it'd be harder to prove damages. Like, Mark has a big fucking mouth and doesn't know when to shut up. The question is, what was the actual damage from Mark?
Who is paying attention to Mark seriously is really.
And was it true though? Right? Like, isn't that a great
they're gonna have to prove
defense?
that Mark will have to prove. Like, he needs to find information that was it true, because to anyone's notion. And if we recall back to the lawsuit that we did with what was the former Sprint CEO that was getting sued by what's his name? The Scientology guy.
Tom Cruise?
No, not Tom Cruise. The one skeezy investor dude. Oh my goodness! When I pull up the archive videos and put them up on this channel, maybe it'll refresh my memory. But they said that
I could, because I was looking for one. So
yeah.
I've been looking for the Sorrento ones because we've been talking about that.
I'll put them up probably when I get the chance to be on a free internet, not taking up my valuable megabyte limit cap from my ISP. I'll go sneak into a McDonald's and start uploading videos to the YouTube channel.
Oh my god.
Why did we suddenly have 250 gigabytes in our free Wi-Fi? But like the whole thing in that is
you're like, can I get an Ethernet cable, guys?
You get Discovery to prove. You get Discovery to prove if it's true or false, regardless of if they knew at the time it was true or false. So
yeah, because you can take a shot in the dark, call something a fraud, and then it turns out to be a fraud. You just yeah.
So this is gonna be fun. I'll probably dig into this deeper because I haven't had the chance. Like I said, I just got access to my Pacer account again because I had been delinquent for a bit because I didn't know if I was going to need it. The one big other thing that I wanted to kind of go over was a bankruptcy that's kind of, we talked about, I think, before the show. That's kind of terrifying for some people.
Oh my god, yes.
This is gross. What, like,
so 23
They're not actually going to sell the data, right?
Oh hell yeah, they are.
Oh yeah, that's part of the bankruptcy.
Like in the open market.
Yes.
Like there is going to be a bid. There's going to be a bidding auction for it, and they have.
Yeah, but they're going to have to. But whoever buys it is going to have to like still abide by the laws around it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but as been pointed out, there's not a whole lot of laws around
yes,
it.
there is.
Because they're not an actual like medical like.
No,
like
it's the Wild West. That's how police have been able to just get pretty much whatever they want out of it.
So I have downloaded the first day hearing.
Have they with 23andMe? I thought the police had like very specific ones they could use.
Well, the police can straight up just like submit a piece of DNA and then try and match it against things and then use that as evidence.
Right, but they can only use like certain database, like certain DNA databases within these kinds of. I don't think 23andMe is one of them.
I think it is though. 23andMe. I think it is.
But while you're looking that up, so I've already.
This is actually coming up in that the Idaho murder case.
Yeah.
So like they used one of these databases. It wasn't 23andMe.
So as long as there's a legally valid warrant, they will.
So well,
Which
I know,
is
but
so
I'm
easy.
just they named it in that case, but they're saying that the cops used one that isn't qualified for these investigations to match the DNA from the dad. So
Well, of course,
that's
that's what they're gonna say, right?
well, right, but they actually they said the ones that they can use, and if I remember correctly, that
So
wasn't
it
one.
says 23andMe requires a valid legal process to consider producing information about our customers. Law enforcement agencies should read 23andMe's Guide for Law Enforcement document prior to contacting 23andMe.
Right. But they
and-
do have, but they have access. Like I think that cops or someone they have access to. I can probably look it up and tell you which ones they are. Like they don't have to file like that with them
Some
to
of them
use
just
it,
give it away willingly.
or they're specifically for them. And so the argument in that the quadruple homicide is that they didn't use one of there was only two, and they didn't use one of them. So they're trying to get that thrown out.
So I will be uploading the first day hearing for the 23andMe, like I'd normally done for the other bankruptcies. There's another hearing that's coming up on the 22nd, so we'll hear more about the bidding procedures that they're establishing. And I know that the former CEO got off the board, and she is going to be probably one of the bidders because she wants to take it private, apparently.
Oh, actually, look, it looks like,
Oh.
let me share this real quick because they have a transparency report. So this was last updated February 28th, 2025. And so far they've received 11 data requests with 15 accounts specified, and data produced 0, I guess. So they have not.
That's
Yeah,
so far
so-
this year.
No, since 2015 it was
Oh,
published.
wow.
And it was last
So
updated right then.
yeah, so there are two that I think they can just run all DNA samples through, like that they're allowed to use. So I don't know. I'd have to look that case, but it's in there.
I do have a quick thing here because I have a video from Steve Lato. There has been some things that you can do if you do not.
You can delete it. You can delete your account data.
Yeah.
Their bankruptcy proceedings, company says customers can still delete their data and shutter their accounts. California Attorney General said in a consumer alert last week that residents should consider doing just that. Meanwhile, the person from the EPIC, the Electronic Privacy Information Center, said any concerned customers should delete their data, request that their sample be destroyed, and revoke any permissions they may have given to use their genetic information for research. And one thing I'll tell you about this is that apparently when you send in your sample to a company like this, it often says you're sending it to us and here's what we can do with it. But someplace else in the rules, it actually says these rules can change. So someone could buy the company, buy all that information, and then change the rules. And if people said, hey, you changed the rules, they'd say, yeah, but it says right here the rules can change at any time. Presumably.
I kind of like watching Steve's videos occasionally because he's an actual lawyer. So he actually knows the law, at least in state that he's licensed in. So, totally like Platinum said, like Steve said, if you're scared that your data might be freely walking about, do it before this proceeding ends. Do it right now.
Do we call it data, or do I mean?
Yes.
I mean, that's how
Yes.
they would.
It's your
classify it.
DNA.
Yeah, but it's your
Mhm.
DNA that has all of your genetic conditions that they're just going to market to you with if they sell it to the highest bidder.
Wasn't the CEO trying to buy it? The ex-CEO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Is that
he was
not-
saying. Yeah, she's like, he
is that
thinks
not
she's
working
gonna
out?
bid.
We
yeah,
don't
they
know
haven't even
yet. I
done the
haven't
auction
gotten
yet,
to
so-
dig into the bankruptcy filing too much yet.
Right, they'll
But
probably.
I know they are going through bidding procedures and all that.
Mhm.
This one would make
Um,
a great book. Like, I love books about bankruptcies, but
Well-
this one's going to be good.
That speaking of, like, I don't think it was a bankruptcy, but like at some point, Cult of We is on the list that we need to, like, the WeWork saga.
Oh my god. Yes. I think I like watched something about that. Like so recently I didn't realize WeWork was like that. Like it's
Yeah.
actually like they
Well,
made
it's gone bankrupt
pretty much-
now since that book. But
yeah, they like made them pretty much like live there and like
Yeah.
only
It
be
was
friends
wi-
with
it was
people who
wild.
work there and
Yeah.
yeah, it was really weird. I think that's we're gonna wrap it up. I will probably I wanted to kind of go over the Logan Paul versus CoffeeZilla lawsuit, but I think I'm gonna have to actually look into that a bit more. It might be an edited video that I do later because there's a lot that has happened since then. A lot of the discovery stuff is still being fought over. So I'll have to read into that. I don't want to just kind of.
It wasn't our basic conclusion like Logan Paul does not want discovery to happen because
No, the last time we left off, Logan Paul was trying to basically find out who snitched, as as CoffeeZilla's lawyers put it. But basically saying he has all these logs already. He's just trying to figure out who talked to who that got CoffeeZilla involved.
Good
Is
luck.
the way they were framing it. But there's a bunch of other discovery stuff that's come up that I need to look into on that one. I think there was one lawyer they were trying to get discovery on the communications between CoffeeZilla and this lawyer, which I think is the lawyer on the lawsuit against the class action lawsuit against Logan Paul, which that seems kind of sus. If that is who it is, but like I said, I haven't gotten the chance to read it. I'm confused why they're
Is it
wanting
for
to subpoena this
CryptoZoo? Like a
third-party
class action?
lawyer.
A class action
the
for-
CryptoZoo lawsuit, I think is who the lawyer is, but I haven't gotten the chance to double check on that.
Is the class action for CryptoZoo?
Yeah, there's a class action lawsuit against CryptoZoo, Logan Paul, and all the people that were involved in that.
Good.
It's still working its way through. I looked at it recently, and I think there was an amended complaint, and I think they're still going through the process of the defendants have filed motions to dismiss, and there's some other things going on. Anywho,
MJL, I don't think it works like that. But
what is it?
someone asked about his sanctions, and he said that he hasn't paid them and he said, according to them, I have also not delivered my proof of ownership or my name. However, I believe I have done both. Stands the 2.5K. And he said, I do not believe I have until I hear back.
I'm not
Well,
sure. I haven't been following.
I'm not sure that like you sanctions are based on what you believe. I mean, I think you should probably check into that.
Yeah. So our final part of this evening is stupid tweets or stupid, I don't know what you call it on Blue Sky, stupid somethings of the
Skeets.
week.
They're called skeets.
I don't know if I
Are
like
they really?
Yes.
Yeah, right? All of us are like, ooh. Let's not call them that.
Skeet, got.
I don't know about that. We'll start with
I mean, I'm ready.
We'll start with Joe.
You are ready?
So I thought
Really?
Blue Sky was a haven. Turns out the bots are back, and they're telling
you
you to
have
buy
you've
crypto.
just now figuring out about the crypto scammers on Blue
Well,
Sky?
I haven't
sweet
had
summer
any.
child.
Well, they're not in my feed. Like Blue Sky's like really good about tailoring your feed. So apparently, if you are a like someone who's very in the crypto cult, not necessarily that you're invested in crypto, but like you're in the crypto cult, there are a shit ton of bots on Blue Sky, but they just moderate the content so well that you just if you're not into the bots, you don't see the bots. But yeah,
Who's into bots?
well, they're into
Not into the
they're
crypto
into
space.
what is it called? Confirmation bias and echo chamber, just like wanting to see content that tells them that their stupid beliefs are real when they're not.
Yeah.
So pretty much the only things that are going to do
that's
that
not
are
too
people who are
much
trying to
different
scam
than
them.
meme stalkers, to tell you the truth. But
Yeah, and they're like, oh, oh yeah, crypto. Let's buy crypto. And remember, Ethereum's
30% down is
20%.
like the least amount that they're saying. Yikes.
Yeah, Ethereum's down 20% just by itself. Or was at the time this was tweeted, at least.
All right. Interesting. You said you had yours, Amy,
Yeah.
ready to go?
Yeah, I
All
feel
right.
like me
go.
and Amy might have the same one, so I'll let her go first.
I doubt it.
And then you can
I doubt
audible in case.
If it is the same one, I'll vote for her.
Okay.
Oh, it's not the same one.
What?
Nachi.
FUD is fear of us delivering.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
Also, if you're going to use an acronym, I
Provocative.
get sometimes you get discounts for putting
Gets the people
and
going.
other things like that. But please, actually, the best use of FUD is facts you
Facts you
dislike.
dislike.
Facts you dislike. But this is fear of us delivering. And I don't know what he means by us.
Who's
Like,
delivering?
and I don't know-
Is it US maybe?
Well, I mean, like, is
No.
he like isn't that what they want, right? The delivery. So, like, is it his fear or is it
Yeah,
the hedge fund fear? Like, I'm not clear where
Is
we're
it the
going with
United
that.
States of America? Or
Right, but just in case anyone
why
was,
is it capitalized?
you know,
And then why isn't delivering capitalized? Or wait, of us, because you is the you. What? Okay.
yeah. So, like,
you
that's
stop,
really not.
stop. You're trying to use your brain, and you just stop.
Just
So
turn it off.
typically,
like a light
typically
switch.
in acronyms, you don't have it's usually like F, like it flows, right? But we have,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm not real sure who he's talking about delivering there. And my guess is
Wait,
about
can we go
FTD.
into like the replies and maybe get some more clues about what's happening?
Sure, let's see. 4 words, 3
No,
acronyms.
that's not helping.
Even his
DOP.
own fans are clowning on him. That's great.
Uh-huh. DOP means done on purpose, so there's a new one.
But then the P is capitalized.
Which he makes fun of him for that too.
Oh my god, yes.
SIT securities must be in shambles because of your 24-hour ultimatum a couple months ago.
What?
I mean, you gotta love 24-hour ultimatum a couple of months ago. This one says that's not how acronyms work. DYFTSD. Did you file that suit today? Reach one, teach one.
All
I mean,
right.
I don't think you're gonna get like
No additional clues. Well,
Yeah,
we
no
are
additional
never gonna
clues.
know.
No.
It will
You do
forever
not
be a
get your
mystery.
the 3 consonants and a vowel for that one.
I would
No,
really
whatever.
like.
So what
to
you
buy
got,
that on
Platinum,
these.
for us?
Let's see. Share. It's a big one though. So I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but just look at it.
Oh, for
okay?
fuck's sake.
Jesus. Wall of text.
Yeah, she's been blowing Doug.
The
Like
decision to
Doug's
let
literally
people on
like
Twitter
messaging me, and he's like, she
have
won't stop.
unlimited tweet length is the worst decision ever. Take that away.
I pay for Twitter, and I don't have unlimited tweet length. I don't know how they're doing it.
You do.
How do I don't know how to do it?
Go on a rampage. Try it.
In
Yeah,
this
and it says
essay,
show
I would
more.
like to talk
Oh
about.
boy, it's Doug.
Okay, but let's
What's this
say
about?
he replied though, so that's the best part.
Mhm.
Lying George has my permission on behalf of Virtue to release the ATM pitch book we sent to his now bankrupt company that he ran into the ground. Meaningless noise. How's that? Clearer? I could give 2 shits what that lying pumper has to say.
Damn, get him! Fucking get him!
Mhm. Well, and she's saying like, oh,
A
do
lot
you
of
want
shit.
George to release the email or the whatever, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
like
just do it.
these empty threats and this like
Why do they
fanfic
think anybody
novels
is
that she's
scared of
writing.
them? I'm so confused.
They do. Like, we were talking about this the other day in the space. Like, I don't think that they have any real concept of, like, they think that they are like almighty and powerful, and it's like,
No,
why?
not really.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and Doug's like laughing at.
Everyone's laughing at them. It's not just
Yeah.
Doug.
It's
Oh, my
weird. It's just like, it's so weird that
goodness. So
to have that view.
I've got my stupid tweet of the week, and we'll see who it makes angry here. Look, I don't like this logic. This logic troubles me greatly. Everyone I talk to in business thinks these tariffs are stupid and destructive. Same here, which is how you know it's probably an incorrect conclusion. I mean, there is a lot of economic studies on the damaging effects of tariffs. So, like, dude, bro, I hate this logic that just because a lot of people agree or have proven something that it means that it must be questioned instead of
Wait.
finding facts to
Well, they
I
question
mean,
what's said.
everything. Everything, yeah.
They need this wave of anti-intellectualism because otherwise no one would fucking vote for them. Well, not no one, but next to no one would. So I mean, this is the result of it. This stupid shit.
And I said that it was this is like flat earth logic. Like, just because like it's like the opposite of like bandwagon, like the bandwagon fallacy. It's like the inverse of that. Like, you must, like, just because people like produce some reasons why you disagree with it, don't just like have these trite statements. I get it. X and social media platforms like this is based around trite statements, but like,
But it's just like MMTLP.
I would expect better from someone who's a financial professional like Larry Chang is.
Yeah, but it's just like MMTLP people, right? Like, they are like, we want transparency. We want answers. FINRA has given them not one, not two, but 3 answers with the Ralph Norman letter.
Well,
Like-
no, they also answered 62 questions.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying in the FAQs. Like,
Right.
and they will, like, instead of like accepting that as the answer that they're going to get from FINRA, they think it is their job, right? Like, clearly they think it's their job because they're doing this for no pay.
So they're volunteer
to
duty.
debunk what they're saying, what they're saying. Like,
All right.
we must challenge this.
I'm seeing the votes coming in on the YouTube side. We're gonna need Rubbing My Axe to be our 8th voter again.
Oh boy.
Because it's currently on a tie.
Between whom?
Me
Hold on,
and
can
Platinum.
Also, Andrew Yang had a tweet that says, this is from yesterday, and it says, "I fucking hate these fucking tariffs because they're so fucking stupid."
Well, that would be
That's literally
right in
me,
the other
like,
direction. Like,
as he's reading out the Vietnam tariff, I'm just like screaming at my phone when he said 40, because the print was so small I couldn't see it on my phone. He goes 49%, and I'm like, what?
yeah, when Joey sent me that message, I was like, come again.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're at a 50-50 tie. We're gonna roll this out and see if we get that our 8th voter. I like Doug Sifu's reply more than the tweet. That one. So Platinum wins this week.
Thank you, Rubbing My Axe.
I
know, I would vote.
We got
was really funny.
Amy gets a vote from X out there.
And the fact that we could never actually figure out what the fuck it is to fucking vote is amazing.
well, I will say this. I normally don't take X votes, but we haven't had a lot of them, so it's easy to tally them. So.
And what, like, I don't know. I don't get it. But it was funny.
So, as
fear of us delivering.
Of us.
So, as per usual, normally I will leave final words to my guests, but I do want to wrap up by saying that there are going to be some changes, hopefully, since I have a steady job with steady set hours, that I probably will be able to get to be doing more edited content. I used to do quite a bit of that, and then, the job situation I did have had very flex hours, which made it very hard to do content. And now I have a set time frame, so it'll make it a little easier to do edited content. I also want to kind of sit down, and I know there's going to be other stuff we do. We've talked about game night, some stuff to de-stress from having to deal with the craziness that we've had to deal with, or things like that. That'll be entertaining. So, especially more so angled at our Twitch base that we're starting to get. So we've thought about, Mario Kart, like we talked about earlier, and stuff like that. So we've also talked about potentially doing stuff that is beyond our normal Saturday night show. I know, like I said, try to get back to like maybe talking about some of this bankruptcy stuff or doing bankruptcy specials as some of these interesting things like the 23andMe stuff comes up or things like that. So just kind of stick around. We're going to try and vary the content to help our mental health a bit.
And everyone else's, right?
And everyone else's.
Yeah. And take some suggestions maybe from the crowd, right?
For content, different things like that. I know one of the things that I was thinking about doing as a joke, I may still do it, is the Atlanta Braves are a publicly traded company and potentially taking a share and following the company as an owner of the company. I thought would be kind of fun to do. And it's not like, you can you can be a shareholder of the Green Bay Packers, but like it's a shareholder. Everyone calls it sports greatest pet rock because you just give money to the Packers. It's publicly traded, but technically you have no actual say or power as a shareholder, whereas you actually have voting power if you bought a share of the Atlanta Braves, depending on which class you buy. There is a class that has no voting power. But anyway, just like different fun ideas we're thinking about. So if you have any ideas, make sure to shoot it out at us. We're always open to them. And also make sure, I used to not be big about it, but we've had to start from ground zero again. So those is on the YouTube channel. If you could like, share, let people know about the new channel name, subscribe, share with other people, get the word back out to the people that we're following so they can come back and we can get this show going big.
It would really help if after this video you refreshed it after we stop the live. Refresh it.
So we get another view to click the algorithm.
Leave a comment. Comments drive that engagement.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Also, I think it's great. We come back from this long vacation that we've had. Total viewership across all platforms, 1,400 views. So
it's gotta be more than that because on Twitter
they like us. They really like us.
Yeah, there's like Amy has 704. I have 743 on Twitter right now. So I mean, it's already more than 1,400.
Yeah. So well, and also when we're live on the stream, it only counts concurrent views for YouTube. It doesn't do the total views while we're live. So
no way! So that's only YouTube.
You got 1,400 views on YouTube?
No. So those, like I'm saying, is your guys' is 700 views. That is total views. That's not concurrent views. So when we're live, it takes
there's
total
not
views
that
for
many
X.
people watching. It's just like how many people clicked in.
Have watched, correct, as
okay.
X tallies it. Whereas YouTube tallies based on who is actually physically watching at that time. Same for Twitch.
Yeah, I'm looking
instead
at it.
of instead of total views as calculated.
Yeah, that number you're seeing, Cloud, is just like the number of people who have either like maybe they clicked in and then clicked out, but it's not that's not how many people are watching. It's not like a space.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, that's how they calculate on the X side. It's really weird because everyone else counts it as concurrent. It's just X does total views. It's really weird. But we'll see what the total tally is.
Still pretty good.
When we get done.
I mean, for your first show back, that's not so bad.
Yeah, when we crack 1,000, that's when we know we got a good show.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, we'll see what's going to go down for next week. Maybe get some other content in there. I will say there was one that I was wanting to do because we're doing kind of more of a catching all and kind of going over more mainstream financial topics and putting the spotlight on things that aren't being covered. I was thinking about one that would be really funny as an edited one called dealing with more of the meme stock stuff called Short Report. And it's a short report on all the crazy stuff that's been going on. You get the gist.
Called the Naked Short Report.
I do
God.
not going to be naked. Sorry.
The synthetic short report.
Oh boy.
But anyway, final words. Amy, you got anything to leave us with tonight?
No, glad to be back.
Yeah, definitely. Anything to close us out with?
Thanks
Platinum?
everyone for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thanks for coming back. Thanks for having us all back.
Yeah.
Like, we're back. Let's go.
Yeah.
We back, baby.
Back and better than ever. Joey, anything else to close us out with?
No, I'm glad to be back. I guess one thing. So all big crashes get a cool name based on the day of the week. You got like Black Thursday in 29 and Black Monday in 87. Please let this one be called Orange Monday.
Oh, boy.
Please. If it
Why
crashes
orange?
because of
What do you
Trump,
think?
Oh,
call it Orange Monday.
I was
Mango
like,
Monday.
got it.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
I'll
dedicate
catch you-
Orange Monday to you, Joey.
Yeah. I'll see you guys then. If it's Orange Monday, we'll have to all come in after hours and talk about how the sky's falling.
And cry about being a VTI baggie.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is guaranteed, that is, if you check Twitter, like, it's gonna be, you're gonna see the sky's falling, and then you're gonna see I'm so mega bullish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There won't be
Bullish.
anything in between.
Nope.
And everyone's saying,
Whichever
"I moved
one you
everything
see
into
the
cash
most
already."
of, right? And whichever one you see the most of, expect the opposite,
Yeah.
That's true.
Sounds like a good advice.
The bots will be out in force.
right?
That's right.
They're all
What
coming.
percentage are you down?
All righty. Well, we'll catch you all next time. We will have this show live again next week and whatever content in between. So have a great evening.